To what if the story of life on Earth began billions of years ago in ways we can only begin to understand? The journey from simple beginnings to the vast array of creatures that once roamed the planet is filled with mysteries waiting to be uncovered. We will dive into the origins of life, exploring how prehistoric creatures evolved and thrived in a world ruled by giant dinosaurs and colossal Ice Age giants. Join us for a captivating exploration of Earth's ancient past, where each discovery might challenge everything we thought we knew. The story of life on Earth begins with a combination of simple ingredients and complex conditions. Imagine Earth around 4 billion years ago, a young planet filled with water, volcanic activity, and a thick atmosphere rich in gas. In this setting, basic chemical compounds began to mix and react, sparking the first steps towards life. Scientists believe that the building blocks of life, like amino acids, formed in this primordial soup. These amino acids are like the small pieces of a puzzle. This process is thought to be influenced by energy sources such as lightning or volcanic heat, which provided the necessary force for these reactions to occur. Over time, these simple compounds began to organize themselves into more complex structures. Some scientists suggest that these early life forms may have had the ability to replicate or reproduce, giving them a survival advantage. These tiny, self-replicating organisms formed the very foundations of biological life. As evolution took its course, these simple life forms continued to adapt to their environment. They transformed and diversified over millions of years, leading to the rich tapestry of life we see today. From single-celled organisms to complex plants and animals, life has shown remarkable adaptability, paving the way for the incredible diversity of life on our planet. Early Earth was a dynamic and tumultuous place, shaped by various factors that created the right conditions for life to develop. Around 4 billion years ago, the planet was a hot, fiery world, marked by molten rock and frequent volcanic eruptions. The atmosphere was thick with gases, primarily carbon dioxide, methane, and ammonia, but it lacked the oxygen-rich air we breathe today. This environment, while harsh by current standards, played a crucial role in the emergence of life. As the planet cooled, water vapor in the atmosphere began to condense, leading to heavy rainfall. Over time, this water filled the basins, forming oceans. These primordial oceans became the cradle for life. They created a stable environment rich in minerals and organic compounds, essential ingredients that could spark chemical reactions necessary for life. In these oceans, energy sources such as lightning, heat from underwater volcanic vents, and even radiation from sunlight may have triggered interactions between simple molecules. These interactions led to the formation of more complex organic molecules, the building blocks of life. The idea of molecules assembling into more intricate structures in a suitable environment is fundamental to understanding how living systems began to develop. Over millions of years, simple life forms started to emerge, evolving from the rich chemical soup of the oceans. This process of evolution was more than just a chemical reaction. It involved the gradual adaptation and self-organization of molecules into systems capable of growth and reproduction. Thus, early Earth, with its oceans, varied geological activity, and unique atmospheric conditions, set the stage for the delicate dance of chemistry that eventually gave rise to life. These foundational elements created an environment where the first simple organisms could thrive. The primordial soup theory suggests that life on Earth began in a warm, watery environment filled with simple organic molecules. Imagine a vast ocean with the right mix of elements and compounds, all swirling together under the influence of natural energy sources like lightning or sunlight. Scientists propose that in this ancient soup, simple building blocks like amino acids, essential for forming proteins, began to assemble. Over a long period, these molecules combined in various ways, ultimately leading to more complex structures. This progression may have paved the way for the first simple life forms to emerge. The theory connects to famous experiments that recreated these early conditions in labs, showing how lightning can spark chemical reactions that produce organic molecules. These findings provide a glimpse into how life's intricate chemistry might have formed under the right circumstances, suggesting that our planet's early environment was a cradle for the beginnings of life, highlighting a remarkable journey that started in that primordial soup. Stromatolites are fascinating structures formed by the activities of microorganisms, primarily cyanobacteria, in shallow water environments. Imagine a layered rock formation that has built up over time, a bit like cake layers, but created by living organisms. These microorganisms grow and multiply, trapping sediments in the process, which eventually solidify and form recognizable structures. One of the most significant aspects of stromatolites is their ancient history. They serve as important evidence of early life on Earth, dating back billions of years. Fossils of stromatolites show that complex life forms were preceded by simple microscopic life. By studying these formations, scientists gain insight into the conditions of early Earth, revealing how our planet's atmosphere and ecosystems evolved over time. Moreover, stromatolites play a crucial role in understanding the Earth's biosphere. As they thrived, cyanobacteria produced oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis, contributing significantly to the buildup of oxygen in our atmosphere. This event, known as the Great Oxygenation Event, was pivotal for the development of diverse life forms. Thus, stromatolites are not just ancient relics, they are keys to unlocking the story of how life began. Cyanobacteria, often referred to as blue-green algae, are among Earth's earliest life forms. They emerged around 3 billion years ago and played a crucial role in transforming the planet's atmosphere. Before their rise, the atmosphere was composed mainly of carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and very little oxygen. Cyanobacteria are unique because of their ability to perform photosynthesis. This process uses sunlight to convert carbon dioxide and water into sugars for energy while releasing oxygen as a byproduct. Over millions of years, the widespread activity of cyanobacteria led to a gradual increase in atmospheric oxygen. Imagine a small stream of bubbles rising from the depths of a dark pond. At first, it seems insignificant, but over time, as more cyanobacteria flourish in sunlit waters, the bubbles gather, and soon the atmosphere fills with oxygen. This significant oxygen buildup caused what is known as the Great Oxygenation Event. This shift had profound consequences. For starters, the increase in oxygen changed the chemistry of the ocean and the atmosphere. Oxygen began to accumulate in the atmosphere, leading to the formation of the ozone layer, which protects life from harmful ultraviolet radiation. However, the rise of oxygen also posed a challenge for many existing anaerobic organisms that thrived in the low oxygen environment. This change triggered the first mass extinction event, but it also paved the way for aerobic organisms, those that use oxygen for respiration, to evolve. In this way, cyanobacteria set the stage for the rich diversity of life we see today, as their oxygen production fundamentally reshaped Earth's environment and made it more hospitable for complex life forms. The Great Oxygenation Event, occurring over 2 billion years ago, marked a pivotal moment in Earth's history when oxygen began to accumulate in the atmosphere. Before this event, our planet had a very different atmosphere that was rich in gases like methane and carbon dioxide, but nearly devoid of oxygen. The change was largely driven by tiny microorganisms known as cyanobacteria that played a crucial role in photosynthesis. This process allowed them to convert sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water into energy, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. As these cyanobacteria flourished in ancient oceans, they released vast amounts of oxygen into the water, and eventually, this oxygen began to seep into the atmosphere. This process meant that the early rise of oxygen was slow, as much was removed from the sky by these chemical reactions. Once those sinks were saturated, however, the atmosphere began to fill with oxygen. The rise of oxygen had profound effects on life on Earth. Before the Great Oxygenation Event, most life was anaerobic, thriving in environments without oxygen. As levels of atmospheric oxygen increased, life had to adapt to this new condition. Some organisms evolved to use oxygen for respiration, a much more efficient energy-generating process than anaerobic methods. This adaptation set the stage for the evolution of complex life forms, including plants, fungi, and ultimately animals. However, increased oxygen levels were also toxic to many existing anaerobic organisms, leading to significant extinction events. This massive shift not only shaped the evolution of life, but also fundamentally altered Earth's environments. The introduction of oxygen led to the formation of the ozone layer, which would shield the planet from harmful radiation and further allowed life to evolve and thrive on land. The Great Oxygenation Event laid the foundation for the rich diversity of life we see today, marking the transition from simple microbial life to complex ecosystems. The evolution of the first multicellular organisms marks a significant milestone in the history of life on Earth. To understand this process, we start with single-celled organisms, which were the dominant life forms for billions of years. These single cells, such as bacteria and archaea, were capable of surviving and thriving in diverse environments. Over time, some cells began to experience changes that encouraged them to stick together after division. This simple cooperation created clusters of cells, offering several advantages. These groups could exchange nutrients more effectively and share resources. By forming clusters, cells could also provide protection from environmental challenges, such as predators or extreme conditions. This behavior of sticking together laid the foundation for more complex organization. As time progressed, some of these clusters of cells began to take on specific roles. Different cells within the group started to specialize in various functions, such as nutrient absorption, reproduction, or defense. This specialization allowed clusters to become more efficient, much like how a team operates best when each member plays a specific role. These early multicellular organisms were probably simple and did not have the complex structures we see in later forms of life. However, they represented a shift from individual survival to a cooperative existence, paving the way for more complex multicellular organisms. The transition from single-celled to multicellular life was not instant, but a gradual process filled with experimentation and adaptation. It ultimately set the stage for the rich tapestry of life that evolved on our planet, highlighting how cooperation can lead to greater complexity and survival advantages in the natural world. The first animals to exist on Earth were simple, soft-bodied creatures that emerged during a time called the Ediacaran period, which occurred more than 500 million years ago. These early animals were quite different from the complex organisms we see today. They likely resembled modern jellyfish or worms, without hard shells or bones. These primitive creatures lived mostly in oceans and were often shaped like discs or fronds. They moved by floating along currents or by simple contractions of their bodies, eating organic material in the water around them. The transition to more complex life forms began shortly after the Ediacaran period, leading into what is known as the Cambrian explosion. This was a time of rapid growth in diversity, where many new types of animals began to appear, including those with shells and exoskeletons. So, while the earliest animals were seemingly simple and unassuming, they set the stage for the complex ecosystems and variety of life that followed. Anomalocaris was a fascinating creature that lived during the Cambrian period, roughly 530 to 500 million years ago. It is often recognized as one of the earliest known top predators in the ocean. Imagine a strange combination of a large shrimp and a flat, buggy body. Anomalocaris could grow to impressive lengths, making it one of the largest animals of its time. What made Anomalocaris particularly formidable was its unique anatomy. It possessed large, compound eyes, which provided it with excellent vision, allowing it to spot prey from a distance. Its head was equipped with a pair of grasping appendages that resembled the claws of modern-day crustaceans. These claws were not just for show, they could catch and hold slippery prey effectively. Anomalocaris also had a specialized mouth structure, which was capable of crushing hard-shelled organisms, making it a versatile eater. In the oceans swarming with early life forms, Anomalocaris thrived among a diverse array of creatures, many of which were still soft-bodied and unprotected. With its size, hunting skills, and a fierce appetite, it could easily outcompete smaller animals. Its role as a predator was crucial because it helped shape the evolution of other marine species, driving them to develop defenses like shells and better swimming abilities. In this way, Anomalocaris not only exemplified the pinnacle of predator-prey dynamics in its ecosystem, but also set the stage for the complex interactions that would come in later periods of Earth's history. This remarkable creature illustrates the rich tapestry of life that existed long before dinosaurs walked the Earth. Dunkleosteus was a formidable predator in the ancient oceans, thriving during the late Devonian period, around 370 million years ago. This remarkable fish reached lengths that could rival modern-day great white sharks, making it one of the largest known armored fish. Its distinctive features included a heavily armored head equipped with strong, bony plates and an impressive jaw lined with sharp edges, perfect for capturing prey. When hunting, Dunkleosteus likely relied on surprise and speed. The structure of its head and jaw allowed it to open its mouth rapidly, creating a powerful suction that would draw in surrounding water and any nearby prey. Imagine a vacuum cleaner. As it pulls in air and debris, Dunkleosteus did something similar, creating a sudden rush that could quickly swallow smaller fish and even harder-shelled creatures. This predator was not just about brute strength. Its hunting strategy may have involved stealth. By remaining still among underwater structures or slow-moving currents, Dunkleosteus could approach unsuspecting prey before launching into action. Once it made its move, the sheer force and speed of its bite would often be sufficient to incapacitate or crush its victim. Dunkleosteus was a masterful hunter, equipped with both speed and the ability to generate powerful suction. Its unique adaptations made it a top predator in its marine environment, capable of taking on a variety of prey with great efficiency. The megalodon was a colossal shark that ruled the oceans millions of years ago, standing as one of the largest predators to ever exist. Imagine a creature the size of a school bus, with teeth the size of your hand, capable of crushing bone. This formidable predator swam the seas during the Cenozoic era. What contributed to its extinction remains a complex puzzle. Scientists believe several factors played a role. The Earth underwent significant climatic changes, leading to cooler ocean temperatures. These changes affected the availability of prey, including large marine mammals and other fish that made up the megalodon's diet. As habitats transformed and food sources dwindled, the giant shark faced increased competition for resources from other marine predators. Additionally, the rise of smaller but highly efficient sharks and the development of new marine ecosystems further complicated survival for the megalodon. As it struggled to adapt to the shifting conditions, it became increasingly vulnerable. The combination of environmental changes and competitive pressures likely led to its gradual disappearance, marking the end of an era for this once dominant ocean dweller. The Titanoboa was a remarkable creature, often regarded as one of the largest snakes to have ever existed. Imagine a snake stretching longer than a bus and thicker than a person. This ancient predator lived approximately 60 million years ago and could grow to lengths of around 40 feet or more and weigh upwards of a ton. Considering its immense size, a Titanoboa possessed the ability to consume prey much larger than what modern snakes can manage. Its strong jaws and flexible skull would allow it to stretch wide enough to envelop sizable animals. Therefore, in theory, a human could fall within the realm of what this giant snake could potentially swallow, especially if we think about smaller adults or children. However, scale is key. Titanoboa thrived in a jungle environment where it likely caught larger prey such as heavy prehistoric turtles and other large animals. So, while it is conceivable that a Titanoboa might be capable of swallowing a human whole, it is essential to remember that humans were not part of its ecosystem. The snake's abilities were finely tuned to the prey available to it at the time, which was very different from what we experience today. Understanding the Titanoboa's predatory habits gives us insight into both its biology and the ecosystem it inhabited. The sheer size and power of such a creature allow us to appreciate how life once existed in Earth's ancient past, where immense predators ruled the environment just like they do in tales of modern jungle life. The terror bird, known scientifically as the Phorus racids, was a fascinating group of flightless birds that roamed parts of South America and other regions millions of years ago. Imagine a bird standing as tall as a human, with powerful legs and a massive beak, designed perfectly for predation. These birds lived from roughly 60 million to 2 million years ago, during a time when they dominated the landscapes they inhabited. Terror birds were exceptional hunters, utilizing their physical attributes to their advantage. With their strong legs, they could sprint at impressive speeds, allowing them to chase down prey over short distances. Their long, sharp beaks acted as effective tools for grasping and slicing through flesh. Rather than relying on flight to catch their meals, they would surprise or outrun their targets, often preying on smaller mammals and other birds. Behaviorally, it's believed that these birds used a combination of stalking and ambushing techniques. They would often lie in wait, using their long legs to sneak up on unsuspecting animals. Once close enough, they could unleash a swift attack, leveraging their size and strength to overpower their quarry. The terror bird's unique combination of speed, agility, and formidable beak made it a true predator of its time, ensuring it remained at the top of the food chain in its ecosystem. Prehistoric insects were able to grow to impressive sizes, much larger than any we see today. Back then, oxygen levels were much higher than they are now, approaching levels close to 1/3 of the atmosphere. Insects breathe through tiny openings in their bodies called spiracles, which lead to a network of tubes that transport oxygen directly to their tissues. With abundant oxygen available, these tubes allowed insects to absorb enough to sustain larger bodies. Additionally, many prehistoric insects, such as dragonflies, had wings that spanned about 2 feet across. The ability to grow larger also meant that they had fewer natural predators and could occupy ecological niches that smaller insects could not. The climate during that time was also warm and humid, which created favorable conditions for plant growth. The abundant vegetation provided not only food sources, but also habitats for these large insects, allowing them to thrive and adapt. A combination of ample oxygen, favorable climate, and ecological advantages created a perfect storm for the evolution of large prehistoric insects. Dinosaurs' fascinating journey began over 300 million years ago when early reptiles started to diversify. These special reptiles had unique adaptations that allowed them to thrive on land. At first, they were small, lizard-like creatures that gradually developed various traits suited for different environments. One of the key moments in this evolutionary story occurred during a period known as the Triassic. It was during this time, around 240 million years ago, that certain reptiles began to exhibit traits that we now associate with dinosaurs. Unlike their ancestors, these emerging reptiles had stronger legs positioned directly beneath their bodies, providing better support and allowing them to move more efficiently. This change was crucial because it enabled them to run faster and escape predation more effectively. As the Triassic progressed and the climate shifted, opportunities arose for these new reptiles. They adapted to various habits, some becoming herbivorous, while others evolved into carnivorous hunters. This diversity paved the way for rapid evolution, leading to unique features like powerful jaws or large bodies. By the late Triassic, these reptiles had established themselves, ultimately giving rise to the first true dinosaurs. Throughout the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, dinosaurs continued to evolve, branching out into numerous species, each adapting to their own environments. Some developed the ability to fly, while others grew to enormous sizes or became agile predators. Their descendants would dominate the Earth for millions of years until an asteroid impact signaled the end of their reign. This story of evolution shows how small changes can lead to magnificent creatures, marking an incredible chapter in the history of life on our planet. Dinosaurs come in a stunning array of shapes and sizes, some of which can truly be described as bizarre. One striking example is the Tyrannosaurus, which had long, claw-like fingers that could span the length of a human arm. This dinosaur walked on 2 legs and had a large, bulky body, yet it was herbivorous, primarily feeding on plants. Its unique appearance, with a wide, beaked mouth and an unusual combination of features, has puzzled scientists and sparked the imagination of dinosaur enthusiasts. Another remarkable dinosaur is the Spinosaurus. Unlike many of its relatives, Spinosaurus possessed a long, crocodile-like snout filled with conical teeth, suggesting it ate fish. Perhaps most eye-catching was the sail-like structure along its back made of elongated neural spines. Think of a sail on a boat, giving it a distinctive silhouette against the landscape. The Hesperornis is yet another oddity. This dinosaur looked more like a bird in many respects. It had a streamlined body designed for swimming, with webbed feet and small wings. What makes it particularly noteworthy is that it was a flightless dinosaur, showing how varied dinosaur adaptations could be, even towards aquatic lifestyles. Then there's the Pachycephalosaurus, often referred to as the thick-headed lizard. Its skull featured a very thick, domed top, which could have been used for headbutting other dinosaurs, similar to some modern animals engaged in territorial interactions. This adaptation makes it fascinating to consider how these creatures interacted with their environment. Lastly, the Amargasaurus demands attention with its 2 rows of spines along its neck and back, creating an appearance reminiscent of a creature from myth. It is believed that these structures may have played a role in display, perhaps for mating or intimidation. Each of these dinosaurs captures our curiosity, not just for their odd appearances, but because they encourage us to think about how diverse and adaptable life was during the age of dinosaurs. These creatures challenge our preconceptions about dinosaurs, making us appreciate the vast tapestry of evolution. The debate over whether dinosaurs were warm-blooded or cold-blooded has fascinated scientists for many years. Traditionally, reptiles like modern crocodiles are considered cold-blooded, relying on external temperatures to regulate their body heat. In contrast, warm-blooded animals like birds and mammals can generate their own body heat, allowing them to remain active even in colder environments. Recent studies suggest that many dinosaurs shared traits with modern birds, indicating they may have been warm-blooded. This idea is supported by evidence showing that some dinosaurs had features like feathers, which help retain body heat. Additionally, their bone structure indicates a fast growth rate akin to that of warm-blooded animals. These characteristics imply they could maintain a stable body temperature, allowing them to thrive in diverse climates. However, it's important to note that dinosaurs were not a single group, and their characteristics likely varied widely. Some might have been warm-blooded, while others could have had cold-blooded traits. The truth may lie in a spectrum, where certain species adapted to their environments in different ways. Ultimately, the distinctions between warm-blooded and cold-blooded likely aren't clear-cut in these ancient creatures, but the evidence leans towards the idea that many were more active and versatile than previously thought. Spinosaurus was a remarkable dinosaur that lived during the late Cretaceous period, roughly 100 million years ago. It is known for its unique features, particularly its elongated snout and the iconic sail-like structure along its back, formed by elongated neural spines. This dinosaur could grow to impressive lengths, making it one of the largest known carnivorous dinosaurs. What sets Spinosaurus apart is the evidence suggesting it may have adapted to a semi-aquatic lifestyle. Unlike many of its dinosaur relatives that roamed the land, Spinosaurus had several traits that hint at its ability to thrive in water. Its long, crocodile-like jaws were ideal for catching fish, which may have made up a significant part of its diet. Additionally, some scientists point to the structure of its limbs. The arms were proportionately larger compared to other theropods, perhaps enabling it to paddle through the water. Fossils found in riverine environments add to the swimming hypothesis, indicating that this dinosaur lived near bodies of water. Its robust body might have aided buoyancy, helping it navigate its habitat more efficiently. As paleontologists continue to analyze fossils and gauge the environment Spinosaurus inhabited, the concept of it being a swimming dinosaur gains traction. However, debates persist, and researchers seek to better understand the lifestyles of these fascinating creatures, piecing together the past one discovery at a time. In the world of Jurassic Park, the cleverness of velociraptors is showcased in a memorable scene where they seem to open doors. While this makes for an exciting movie moment, the reality of dinosaurs and their abilities is quite different. Velociraptors, which lived millions of years ago, were small, feathered dinosaurs. They were certainly intelligent creatures, exhibiting hunting strategies and possibly even social behaviors. However, the anatomical structure of their hands and claws suggests they were not capable of opening doors as shown in the film. Their claws were designed for grasping and holding prey, not for the fine motor skills needed to turn a doorknob or push a door open. Moreover, the idea of these dinosaurs using complex reasoning and problem-solving skills remains speculative. In modern studies of animal behavior, many clever animals, like certain birds and primates, can figure out simple puzzles, but opening a door requires a unique combination of dexterity and understanding that likely surpasses what velociraptors could achieve. While velociraptors were fascinating and intelligent animals in their own right, the portrayal in Jurassic Park, where they can open doors, is more a product of entertainment than scientific fact. The Tyrannosaurus Rex was one of the most powerful predators to roam the Earth. Its bite force was astonishingly strong. Imagine a pressure powerful enough to crush bones easily, far beyond anything seen in today's large carnivores. To put it into context, when scientists studied the jaw structure of the T-Rex, they estimated that it could exert force similar to that of several powerful modern predators combined, like lions or even crocodiles. Modern-day predators, while fierce and efficient, typically do not reach the extreme levels of force that the T-Rex could. For instance, the bite of a lion is formidable for taking down prey, but it pales in comparison to the crushing strength of a T-Rex. The anatomy of the T-Rex allowed it to apply this incredible force while maintaining a jaw structure suited for biting through thick skin and hard bones. This immense bite force not only would have helped the T-Rex hunt effectively, but also played a significant role in how it processed its food. Instead of scavenging, it likely used its powerful jaws to take down large dinosaurs, tearing them apart with ease and feeding on their remains. The adaptations of the T-Rex highlight how evolution shaped it to be an apex predator in its environment, unrivaled by modern equivalents in sheer biting power. One of the smallest dinosaurs discovered is known as Microraptor. Imagine a bird no larger than a common crow, but with feathers and the distinct features of a dinosaur. Microraptor lived during the early Cretaceous period, around 125 million years ago, in what is now China. This tiny creature measured just about the length of a small cat. What sets Microraptor apart, aside from its size, is its remarkable ability to glide. With 4 wings, it adapted to an aerial lifestyle, combining both dinosaur and bird traits. Its feathers, similar to modern birds, give us insights into how dinosaurs may have evolved towards flight. Despite its petite size, Microraptor provides a crucial link in understanding the evolution of flight and the diverse lifestyles that dinosaurs adopted during their reign on Earth. Its discovery not only highlights the incredible variety within the dinosaur family, but also challenges our perceptions about their capabilities and environments. The Ice Age was a monumental period in Earth's history that significantly influenced the evolution of giant mammals. During this time, large portions of the planet were covered in ice, creating harsh and challenging environments. These conditions required animals to adapt in remarkable ways to survive the frigid temperatures and the changing landscapes. As the climate cooled, many regions transformed into tundra and grasslands. Mammals that could withstand the cold developed thick fur and layers of fat to keep warm. This adaptation was crucial for survival, as it allowed them to thrive in environments where food was scarce. Species such as woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats emerged, featuring traits that helped them hunt or avoid predators more effectively. The availability of vegetation for herbivorous giants like mammoths and mastodons also dictated their evolution. With vast grasslands to feed on, these animals grew larger, which not only helped them reach higher foliage, but also offered protection from smaller predators. Size became an essential trait during the Ice Age, as larger animals often had fewer natural enemies. As the climate began to warm again and the ice sheets melted, many of these giant mammals faced new challenges. The drastic change in habitat led to the loss of grasslands and a shift in ecosystems. Some species couldn't adapt quickly enough to these new conditions and subsequently faced extinction. Others found new niches and evolved further, leading to the rich diversity of mammals we see today. Ultimately, the Ice Age was a significant catalyst for natural selection, shaping not only the physical characteristics of these giant mammals, but also their behaviors and habitats. The challenges they faced and the adaptations they made in response illustrate the profound impact of Earth's climatic shifts on the course of evolution. Saber-toothed cats, often referred to as saber-toothed tigers, were fascinating creatures that roamed the Earth millions of years ago. Despite their name, these animals were not true tigers. They belonged to a group known as Machairodontines, which were part of the broader family of big cats. These cats were well-adapted predators with a unique set of features that made them different from modern feline hunters. One of their most striking characteristics was their elongated, curved canine teeth, which resembled swords or sabers and could grow remarkably long. These teeth were not just for show, they were essential tools for hunting and delivering lethal bites to prey. Unlike today's big cats that rely on a combination of speed and strength to bring down their prey, saber-toothed cats likely utilized stealth and powerful strikes to target vulnerable areas of large herbivores. In terms of size, these cats were robust and muscular, comparable to today's large cats like lions, but their body structure was somewhat different. Their front legs were strong and might have been designed for powerful pouncing, while their back legs provided stability. This combination of strength and agility gave them a distinctive hunting style. Saber-toothed cats inhabited a variety of environments, from open grasslands to forested areas, which provided them with opportunities to hunt a range of prey, including large mammals such as bison, deer, and even young mammoths. They were social creatures, likely living in small family groups to cooperate in hunts. Evidence suggests they shared kills, which indicates complex social behavior. Sadly, these cats vanished around 10,000 years ago, likely due to a combination of climate change and the decline of their prey. The extinction of saber-toothed cats teaches us about the delicate balance of ecosystems and how changes can lead to the loss of even the mightiest predators. Their legacy continues to capture our imagination, reminding us of the incredible diversity of life that once thrived on our planet. The woolly mammoth was well adapted to survive in the frigid climates of the Ice Age. This extraordinary creature had a few key features that helped it thrive in icy environments. First, it had a thick layer of fat beneath its skin, which provided insulation against the cold. This layer was several inches thick and acted like a natural blanket, helping to maintain body heat. In addition to fat, woolly mammoths were covered in long, shaggy fur. This fur was made up of two layers, the outer layer consisting of coarse guard hairs that repelled water and snow, and a softer undercoat that trapped heat. Together, these layers worked to keep the mammoth warm, even in the harshest conditions. Another fascinating adaptation was their large size, which played a critical role in their survival. The larger a mammal, the smaller its surface area relative to its volume. This means that a big animal like the woolly mammoth lost heat more slowly than a smaller creature would. Their long, curved tusks were also useful. They could use these tusks to dig through snow to find food like grasses, shrubs, and lichens hidden beneath the surface. Woolly mammoths had specialized teeth designed for grinding tough plant material, helping them thrive on the vegetation available during the Ice Age. These features combined allowed woolly mammoths to navigate and survive in freezing temperatures, making them one of the most iconic animals of the prehistoric cold. Giant ground sloths roamed the earth during the last Ice Age and were fascinating creatures. While they may have appeared awkward and slow-moving, they were indeed formidable animals. Stood as tall as a human and weighed several times more, their massive size alone could deter many predators. These sloths were herbivores, primarily eating leaves, fruits, and plants. However, their sheer strength and large claws might have posed a danger to anything perceived as a threat. Their claws were used for foraging and could certainly inflict significant damage if necessary. Imagine a confrontation. A giant ground sloth could likely stand its ground with intimidating physical presence. On the other hand, they were not aggressive creatures by nature. Their primary focus was on foraging rather than facing threats. When it comes to interactions with early humans, evidence suggests that they might have been hunted for food. Yet this angle of danger was more about survival than anything else. While the giant ground sloth could certainly defend itself if provoked, it was not a creature that sought out conflict. Its danger lay more in its size and potential for defense, rather than in any inherent aggression. The Irish elk is an extinct species of deer that roamed Europe and parts of Asia during the late Pleistocene and into the early Holocene. It was known for its extraordinary size, with some individuals standing as tall as a modern horse. One of the most striking features of the Irish elk was its enormous antlers, which could span up to 12 feet from tip to tip, making them some of the largest known in the deer family. The massive size of these antlers is thought to have been influenced by several factors. First, antlers serve a crucial role in attracting mates, particularly in male deer. Larger antlers can signal strength and genetic fitness to potential partners, making them more appealing during mating seasons. Therefore, over generations, natural selection likely favored males with bigger antlers, resulting in the impressive sizes we associate with the Irish elk. Additionally, the environment in which they lived may have played a role. During the time of the Irish elk, vast areas of Europe were filled with open woodlands and grasslands, providing an abundant food supply necessary for the energy required to grow such large antlers. A diet rich in nutrients may have supported their growth, allowing these animals to develop and sustain their impressive headgear. However, the Irish elk eventually faced challenges as the climate changed and human populations grew. These shifts affected their habitat and food resources, contributing to their eventual extinction. Their legacy remains, encapsulated in skeletal remains found across Europe, leaving us fascinated by this magnificent creature and its astounding antlers. The American lion, an ancient species that roamed North America during the Pleistocene epoch, was indeed larger than the modern lions we see today. While contemporary lions are already impressive creatures, often weighing around 400 to 500 pounds, the American lion could have weighed significantly more. Imagine a lion that stood taller at the shoulder with a more robust build, making it one of the largest known feline species. Evidence suggests this prehistoric animal measured nearly 6 feet long, with the potential for weights exceeding 600 pounds. This size increase is attributed to various factors, including the different environmental conditions and prey availability of its time. While modern lions have adapted to their specific ecosystems, American lions lived in a time when they faced other large predators and needed to take down equally large prey, which may have influenced their development into such formidable animals. The sheer size and strength of the American lion were remarkable, even in a world populated by other large mammals. This combination of attributes makes the American lion a fascinating subject when discussing the evolution of big cats and their adaptations through time. During the Ice Age, prehistoric humans found themselves in a world that teemed with giant animals known as megafauna. These creatures, like mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant ground sloths, were not just part of the landscape. They played a crucial role in the survival and culture of early humans. Humans were primarily hunter-gatherers during this time, meaning they relied on both hunting animals and gathering plant resources for food. The large size of megafauna made them prime targets due to the substantial amount of meat they could provide. Imagine a cooperative effort among group members. Humans would organize hunts, employing teamwork and strategy to bring down these massive animals. To increase their chances of success, they adapted their tools and techniques. Early humans created simple yet effective tools, such as spears, often tipped with sharpened stones, to attack these beasts from a safe distance. They may have used fire to flush animals from dense brush or create distractions within their environment. Each hunt would not only provide food, but also materials for clothing, shelter, and tools from the animal's hides and bones. Interactions weren't solely predatory. Humans surely encountered megafauna in daily life. Evidence suggests that they were central to the diet and culture, possibly featuring in rituals or artwork seen in cave paintings. This connection illustrates humans' recognition of these creatures as part of their world. However, the dynamics were complicated. As humans hunted megafauna, they also faced challenges from these formidable animals. Prehistoric humans had to be cautious and skilled, knowing that encounters could be dangerous. Over time, the changing climate at the end of the Ice Age altered habitats, and many megafaunal species began to disappear. This disappearance was likely due to a combination of changing environments and overhunting by humans. As the world transitioned, so too did human society, with less dependence on these giant animals, gradually shifting focus to smaller game and agriculture. The relationship between prehistoric humans and Ice Age megafauna was one of both necessity and respect, characterized by a struggle for survival that shaped them as hunters, gatherers, and a central part of the ecosystem at that time. The first mass extinction on Earth, known as the Ordovician-Silurian extinction event, occurred around 440 million years ago. It was a significant turning point in the history of our planet. During this time, life was flourishing in the oceans, with diverse marine organisms like brachiopods, trilobites, and early fish thriving. However, a large-scale shift in the environment triggered this dramatic extinction. Scientific evidence suggests that a sudden, intense cooling of the Earth took place. This change likely stemmed from several factors, including a drop in carbon dioxide levels caused by the emergence of forests on land. As trees began to flourish, they absorbed carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas that helps to maintain warmer temperatures. With less of it in the atmosphere, the planet began to cool significantly. This cooling led to the formation of extensive ice sheets, particularly around the South Pole. As glaciers expanded, sea levels fell, which drastically altered marine habitats. Many shallow sea areas where life was abundant became inhospitable. In addition to these physical changes, fluctuations in ocean chemistry and temperature likely contributed to the difficulties faced by many marine species. The combination of these environmental stresses caused a mass die-off, affecting about 75% of marine life. This event set the stage for life to continue evolving in a new balance, showcasing nature's resilience and adaptability. The Ordovician-Silurian extinction event reminds us that Earth's climate can change rapidly, reshaping life in ways we are still trying to understand. The Permian extinction was an extraordinary event that occurred at the end of the Permian period, roughly 250 million years ago. It is often referred to as the Great Dying because it is the most massive extinction event in Earth's history, wiping out nearly 9 out of every 10 species on the planet. Imagine a world teeming with diverse life forms, including both marine animals and land-dwelling creatures. This catastrophe radically transformed the biosphere and caused significant loss of biodiversity. Several factors contributed to this dramatic event. Large-scale volcanic eruptions released vast amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere, leading to severe climate changes. These eruptions not only heated the planet, but also acidified the oceans, creating an environment hostile to many forms of life. With temperatures rising and habitats deteriorating, many species struggled to survive. Additionally, the resulting environmental stresses caused shifts in ecosystems that made it incredibly challenging for organisms to adapt. The consequence of these changes was catastrophic, with many species unable to cope with the rapid alterations to their surroundings. The term "the Great Dying" highlights not only the scale of extinction, but also the profound effects it had on the Earth's evolutionary path, setting the stage for new life forms to emerge in the following eras. The asteroid that brought an end to the age of dinosaurs struck our planet around 66 million years ago with a force that changed everything. Imagine an object, about the size of a city, hurtling toward Earth at incredible speeds. When it collided with our planet, it unleashed energy equivalent to millions of atomic bombs. This explosion created a massive crater known as the Chicxulub crater, which sits on the Yucatan Peninsula in present-day Mexico. The impact triggered a series of catastrophic events. First, immense clouds of dust and debris were thrown into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight for months. This sudden darkness halted photosynthesis, drastically reducing the food supply for plants. Without enough light, even the hardiest vegetation struggled to survive, leading to a cascading effect through the food chain. The environmental changes did not stop there. As temperatures plummeted in some areas, others experienced intense heat from fires ignited by the impact's energy. These fires would have created further smoke and soot, contributing to a chilling climate. As a result, many species, including the dinosaurs, faced harsh conditions that they could not adapt to quickly enough. Furthermore, the fallout from the impact altered ecosystems globally. Some creatures found ways to survive in the new environment, while countless others vanished. In the aftermath of this event, small mammals and other species that had previously lived in the shadows of dinosaurs began to flourish, paving the way for a different era on Earth. Ultimately, this asteroid impact was a pivotal moment in the history of our planet, marking the end of one dominant group of life forms and the beginning of another. When a massive asteroid struck the Earth around 66 million years ago, it led to the extinction of nearly 3/4 of all species, including the dinosaurs. However, amidst this catastrophic event, some species managed to survive and adapt to the dramatically changed environment. One of the most notable survivors was a group of small mammals. These creatures were likely shrew-like and nocturnal, allowing them to evade the harsh conditions that followed the impact, such as extreme temperatures and a lack of sunlight. Their ability to live in burrows helped them survive the initial aftermath, where food sources were scarce. Birds emerged as a direct descendant of some dinosaur species, and they too flourished after the impact. Their lightweight bodies and ability to fly allowed them to explore various habitats, finding food and escaping from predators. Reptiles, particularly turtles, also endured. Their hard shells provided protection, and their aquatic lifestyle allowed them to take advantage of post-impact changes in the environment. They could thrive in the new, more diverse ecosystems that began to develop as plants began to regrow. In the aftermath of this mass extinction, flowering plants started to populate the Earth, creating new ecosystems. This shift in the environment not only provided new habitats, but also opened up feeding opportunities for surviving species, leading to the rapid evolution and diversification of mammals, birds, and other life forms, setting the stage for the world as we know it today. The Ice Age extinctions marked a significant turning point in Earth's history, reshaping ecosystems and human societies in profound ways. During this period, which lasted tens of thousands of years, many large animals known as megafauna, such as woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant ground sloths, vanished from the planet. Their loss had a cascading effect on the environments they inhabited. With these massive herbivores gone, plant communities began to shift dramatically. As these animals helped shape the landscapes by grazing and trampling vegetation, their extinction resulted in the growth of more densely wooded areas, changing the dynamics of many ecosystems. This shift not only affected plant life, but also altered the habitats of countless smaller animals and insects, leading to further changes in biodiversity. On the human side, the extinction of these megafauna also influenced early human populations. Many groups relied on hunting these large animals for food, clothing, and tools. As their populations dwindled, humans had to adapt to their disappearance, turning to smaller game and gathering more diverse plant foods. This change set the stage for the development of agriculture as communities began to cultivate crops instead of relying solely on hunting. Moreover, these adaptations led to the growth of permanent settlements and the eventual rise of complex societies. As people learned to live in harmony with their changing environment, they became more resourceful, eventually giving rise to technological innovations and cultural advancements. The Ice Age extinctions transformed the world by altering ecosystems, shifting human lifestyles, and paving the way for the eventual development of agriculture and civilization. It is a vivid reminder of how interconnected life on Earth is, with every change, whether the loss of a species or the adaptation of human practices, shaping the world in lasting ways. The possibility of another mass extinction is a topic of significant concern among scientists and researchers. A mass extinction event is characterized by a rapid loss of a large number of species across the planet. Throughout Earth's history, there have been 5 major events of this kind, often triggered by drastic changes. Today, human activity is driving another potential wave of extinction. One of the primary factors contributing to this risk is habitat destruction. As populations grow, forests are cleared for agriculture, cities expand, and natural landscapes are altered. This loss of habitat can push many species to the brink of survival, making it difficult for them to find food, reproduce, or seek shelter. Climate change is another crucial player in this scenario. As the Earth warms, weather patterns shift, affecting entire ecosystems. Some species may adapt to these changes, but many others may struggle to survive in their altered environments. For example, animals and plants that rely on specific temperature ranges or seasonal changes may find themselves unable to thrive in new conditions. Pollution also contributes to the risk of extinction. Chemical runoff, plastic waste, and air pollution can poison habitats, making them inhospitable for various forms of life. Water quality deteriorates, and many species find their homes compromised, leading to declining populations. Finally, the introduction of invasive species can disrupt existing ecosystems. When non-native plants and animals are introduced, they can outcompete local species for resources, leading to declines in native populations. While efforts are underway globally to conserve biodiversity and mitigate these threats, the interplay of human activity and natural processes can create a delicate balance. Thus, if current trends continue unchecked, we could see a significant decline in species diversity in the years to come. Understanding these factors is vital in working towards solutions that can potentially avert this future crisis and protect the myriad of life forms that share our planet. Volcanic activity has played a significant role in shaping the Earth's history, especially in relation to extinction events. When large-scale volcanic eruptions occur, they can release massive amounts of ash, gases, and other materials into the atmosphere. This eruption could be likened to a giant factory spewing smoke and soot into the air, creating a thick cloud that blocks sunlight. When sunlight is reduced, temperatures drop, leading to a phenomenon known as volcanic winter. This sudden change in climate can devastate ecosystems that rely on stable temperatures and light for photosynthesis. As these eruptions occur, they also emit gases like sulfur dioxide, which can lead to acid rain. Acid rain can harm plants, aquatic life, and animals, disrupting food chains and leading to widespread deaths. Furthermore, the ash and sulfur can travel long distances, impacting not just the immediate area of the eruption, but also regions far away. One of the most notable extinction events associated with volcanic activity is the mass extinction that occurred around 75 million years ago at the end of the Cretaceous period. Scientists believe that vast volcanic eruptions in what is now India released enormous amounts of lava and gas, contributing to climate changes that played a role in the extinction of the dinosaurs along with other species. Additionally, during the Permian period, over 250 million years ago, extensive volcanic activity released carbon dioxide, causing temperatures to rise and drastically altering the environment. This led to a staggering loss of biodiversity, rendering it one of the most severe extinction events in Earth's history. Overall, volcanic eruptions can trigger a series of environmental changes that cascade through ecosystems, affecting everything from climate to food chains, ultimately contributing to extinction events. The story of human ancestors begins millions of years ago in Africa. The first human-like creatures, known as hominins, appeared around 6 to 7 million years ago. These early ancestors shared some traits with both modern humans and apes, but began to evolve distinct characteristics. As time passed, various species emerged, with one of the most significant being Australopithecus, which lived around 4 million years ago. This species is notable for its ability to walk upright, a crucial step in human evolution. Walking on two legs allowed them to travel longer distances and freed up their hands for other activities, such as using tools. By around 2 million years ago, the genus Homo appeared, leading to species like Homo habilis and later Homo erectus. Homo erectus is particularly important because it showed evidence of using fire and making more sophisticated tools. These advances marked significant milestones in our evolutionary journey. Eventually, modern humans, known as Homo sapiens, emerged roughly 200,000 to 300,000 years ago. They exhibited advanced thinking capabilities, creativity, and social structures, setting them apart from earlier hominins. Overall, the path of our ancestors reflects a long and complex history of adaptation and change, shaped by their environment and emerging needs. Homo habilis represents an early chapter in human evolution existing around 2 million years ago. While modern humans, Homo sapiens, are characterized by larger brains and more complex behaviors, Homo habilis had a smaller brain, roughly about half the size. This difference in brain size hints at varying levels of cognitive abilities. In terms of physical appearance, Homo habilis had a more ape-like body structure with longer arms and a lower, more curved spine, suggesting they were still somewhat adapted to climbing. This contrasts with the upright posture and more balanced body of modern humans, which is vital for long-distance walking and running. Homo habilis is also known for using simple stone tools, which marked a significant technological advancement for early humans. These tools were primarily for cutting and scraping, indicating a reliance on both gathering and hunting for food. Modern humans, however, created a diverse range of tools and developed advanced techniques, including the use of fire and complex social structures. Furthermore, while Homo habilis likely lived in small groups, modern humans have formed intricate societies with rich cultural practices, art, and communication. Overall, the differences between Homo habilis and modern humans lie not only in physical attributes, but also in cognitive capabilities and social structures, illustrating the evolutionary journey from our ancient ancestors to the fully developed humans of today. The brain of a Neanderthal was quite similar to ours in many ways, but there were distinct differences that make it an interesting topic. Neanderthals had large brains, often comparable in size to modern human brains, which suggests they were capable of complex thought and behavior. However, it's important to note that brain size alone doesn't determine intelligence. The shape of the Neanderthal brain was different as well. While modern human brains have a rounded shape, Neanderthals had longer, flatter brains. This variation in shape may have influenced how their brains were organized and functioned. For example, different regions of their brains may have been specialized for certain tasks, perhaps affecting their ability to communicate or create tools. The differences in brain structure could reflect their unique lifestyle and environment. Neanderthals lived in harsh conditions, often hunting large animals, and their brains were likely adapted to process that kind of information. Their ability to make tools, control fire, and adapt to various habitats illustrates that they were not just primitive counterparts to humans, but rather skilled survivors in their own right. While both species shared similar cognitive capabilities, the ways they expressed those abilities may have varied greatly. Neanderthals' social structures and expressions of culture were likely different from ours, showing both similarities and contrasts in the development of human behavior over time. The possibility of communication between Neanderthals and modern humans is an intriguing topic that brings us closer to understanding our ancient ancestors. Both species existed during overlapping time periods in Europe and Asia, sharing similar habitats and possibly even resources. This proximity raises the question of whether they could have communicated. To explore this, we first need to consider the capabilities of both groups. Neanderthals had a complex brain structure similar to that of modern humans. This suggests they were capable of sophisticated behaviors and likely had their own forms of communication, perhaps involving sounds, gestures, or even rudimentary vocalizations that conveyed meaning. Evidence indicates that they created tools, used fire, and might have participated in symbolic activities such as burying their dead, all signs of advanced cognitive abilities. Modern humans also possessed the capacity for language, characterized by a rich vocabulary and complex grammar. While Neanderthals may not have spoken in exactly the same way we do now, they could have had a basic means of interacting. It's possible they utilized a mix of sounds, body language, and facial expressions to convey ideas or emotions. When two groups like them encountered each other, mutual understanding could arise from shared behaviors and the immediate need to communicate, whether for trade, cooperation, or avoiding conflict. Research into Neanderthal DNA reveals that interbreeding occurred between them and modern humans. This genetic overlap suggests that when people from both groups came into contact, there may have been an exchange not only of genes, but also of ideas and perhaps languages. While we cannot definitively know the nature of their interactions, it is likely that a form of communication existed, fostering a complex relationship between the two species in those early chapters of human history. The story of early humans and their relationship with fire is an important chapter in our evolutionary history. Archaeologists have unearthed compelling evidence at various sites across the globe that shows our ancestors harnessed fire for their survival and development. One of the most striking pieces of evidence is the discovery of ancient hearths. These are circular areas of scorched earth, often containing ash and charred bones, indicating that a fire was built in a specific spot, likely for cooking or warmth. In some cases, the remains of burnt animal bones have been found alongside these hearths, suggesting that early humans were cooking their food, making it more nutritious and easier to digest. Additionally, some tools unearthed from archaeological sites show signs of heating or burning, hinting at deliberate use of fire to enhance their effectiveness. For instance, early stone tools may have been heated to make them easier to shape or to improve their durability. Another key piece of evidence comes from the analysis of ancient sediments. Researchers have found microscopic traces of carbon particles in layers of soil that date back hundreds of thousands of years. These tiny remnants indicate that fire was present in those areas long ago, further supporting assertions that hominins were mastering fire. Moreover, the social implications of fire usage suggest significant developments in human behavior. Gatherings around a fire could have fostered community interactions, leading to increased communication and even the sharing of knowledge among early groups. The ability to cook food would have also opened up new dietary possibilities, enabling humans to explore a wider range of foods, which played a critical role in our development. Together, these findings weave a narrative of early humans as adept users of fire. The control and use of fire not only provided warmth and protection from predators, but also marked a major leap forward in our cognitive and social evolution. This mastery of fire essentially changed the course of human history, highlighting its profound importance for our ancestors. The first humans relied on a combination of hunting and gathering to secure their food, creating a lifestyle that was closely connected to the natural world around them. Imagine a time when early humans roamed vast landscapes, equipped not with modern tools, but with a keen sense of observation and the basic tools they could craft from stones, bones, and wood. Gathering was perhaps the simpler aspect of this survival strategy. early humans would have foraged for fruits, nuts, seeds, tubers, and other edible plants as they encountered them in their environment. Knowing which plants were safe to eat required a deep understanding of nature, passed down through generations. They would recognize seasonal changes and the availability of food, often returning to the same areas to harvest at the right time. It was more than just collecting food, it was about connecting with the rhythms of their local ecosystems. Hunting, on the other hand, involved more complex strategies. Early humans hunted in groups, using teamwork to take down larger animals like deer, wild boar, and even mammoths. They would have observed animal behavior, learning to track their movements and understand their habits. Utilizing simple weapons made from sharp stones, they developed techniques like ambush and persistence hunting, where they would chase prey over long distances until the animals were exhausted. Both hunting and gathering required communication and social structures. By sharing knowledge and coordinating efforts, early humans improved their chances of survival. These activities not only provided food, but also fostered community bonds, critical for the development of early human society. Thus, their survival hinged on a deep connection to the land, an understanding of animal behavior, and collaboration with one another. The journey into the realm of human creativity reveals that the oldest known examples of human-made art date back tens of thousands of years. One remarkable piece is a small figurine found in a cave in Germany, often referred to as the Lion Man. This figure, carved from mammoth ivory, is thought to be around 40 to 50,000 years old. It showcases the capability of early humans to express complex ideas and emotions through sculpture. Another significant discovery comes from cave paintings in Indonesia, which may also be over 40,000 years old. These paintings depict various animals and human figures, suggesting that our ancestors used art not only for decoration, but possibly for communication, storytelling, or even ritual purposes. In Europe, the Lascaux caves in France hold some of the most famous cave paintings, estimated to be around 17,000 years old. These artworks illustrate a variety of animals and have sparked extensive discussions about their significance, including possible connections to hunting practices or spiritual beliefs. Together, these findings illustrate that the impulse to create and express is deeply rooted in human history. Each piece of art not only showcases the skill of its creator, but also offers a window into the thoughts and experiences of early humans, connecting us to our distant past. The story of Atlantis has captured the imagination of many, but its reality remains a topic of debate. Atlantis first appears in the writings of the ancient philosopher Plato, who described it as a powerful and advanced civilization that existed around 9,000 years before his time. According to Plato, this remarkable place was said to have sunk into the ocean due to a cataclysmic event. While there is no concrete evidence to confirm the existence of Atlantis as Plato described it, some researchers suggest that it could be based on real prehistoric civilizations. Ancient societies such as the Minoans, who lived on the island of Crete, demonstrate characteristics that resonate with the Atlantis myth. The Minoans thrived with advanced architecture, complex social structures, and even developed early forms of writing. Their civilization fell into decline around the time when volcanic eruptions and tsunamis wreaked havoc in the region. This combination of myth and possible historical events fuels speculation about Atlantis. Many believe that stories of a mighty civilization lost to the sea may stem from real-world disasters, where communities were suddenly erased by natural forces. The fascination continues as explorers and historians search for remnants or clues that could lead to the truth behind Atlantis. Ultimately, while it may never be definitively proven that Atlantis existed, its legend serves as a reminder of human curiosity and the mysteries that lie beneath the ocean's surface. Göbekli Tepe is an ancient archaeological site located in modern-day Turkey, dating back to over 11,000 years ago. This site is remarkable because it consists of massive stone pillars arranged in circular formations, showcasing intricate carvings and symbols. What makes Göbekli Tepe truly fascinating is that it predates known agricultural societies, leading to significant questions about how it fits into our understanding of human development and culture. Traditionally, historians believed that complex societies arose only after the advent of farming. The idea was that people first needed to settle down, develop agriculture for food, and then build large structures like temples or monuments. However, Göbekli Tepe challenges this notion by suggesting that hunter-gatherer communities were capable of organizing and cooperating in monumental projects long before they began farming. This indicates that ritual and social practices could have motivated these groups to gather, collaborate, and create a sophisticated structure, shifting our perspective on social organization in prehistoric times. It suggests that spirituality and communal identity might have been just as critical, if not more so, than the pursuit of subsistence through agriculture. The site opens a window into ancient human behavior, revealing that instead of waiting for civilization to develop before expressing social complexity, humans were already exploring communal rituals and practices in a way that laid the groundwork for future societies. The implications of Göbekli Tepe extend beyond architecture. They invite us to reconsider the very roots of culture and society. The presence of such a significant site led by non-agricultural peoples prompts deep reflections on the interconnectedness of spirituality, social engagement, and the development of civilization as we know it. Göbekli Tepe is not just a monument. It is a pivotal piece of evidence that broadens our understanding of humanity's early narrative. Early humans constructed impressive megalithic structures using ingenuity, teamwork, and a deep understanding of their environment. These monumental stones, often weighing tons, were not simply moved with brute force. Instead, it is believed they employed several clever techniques to transport and erect them. First, groups of people likely worked together in coordinated efforts, utilizing communal strength to handle large stones. They may have used simple tools made from wood and stone to shape the rocks before moving them. Rollers made from logs or stones could have been placed underneath heavy blocks to make them easier to slide. Moreover, water might have played a role. By wetting the ground or creating mud, they could reduce friction, allowing stones to be moved more easily. This technique would have been particularly effective on flat surfaces. As for lifting these structures into place, ramps made from earth and rubble could provide a slope that made the task more manageable. Teams could pull the stones up the incline, gradually raising them to the required height. These efforts illustrate not just physical strength, but also remarkable organization among early humans. They built structures that aligned with astronomical events, demonstrating a sophisticated knowledge that combined both their environment and the celestial patterns observed in the sky. Ultimately, the construction of megalithic structures stands as a testament to human innovation and cooperation, showcasing a blend of physical labor, strategic planning, and a strong connection to their surroundings. The Bimini Road is a fascinating underwater formation located near Bimini in the Bahamas. This structure consists of large, closely spaced stones that appear to be aligned in a particular pattern, leading many to wonder about its origin. Some believe it could be the remnants of an ancient road or path, possibly linked to the lost civilization of Atlantis. The mystery surrounding Bimini Road stirs curiosity for various reasons. The symmetrical arrangement of the stones raises questions about whether they are a natural formation or the result of human activity. Critics suggest that the stones might simply be natural coral formations that have been shaped by the ocean over thousands of years. However, those who favor the man-made theory point to the regularity and pattern of the stones, arguing that it seems unlikely that nature could create such an alignment without a guiding force. Exploring further, some researchers have claimed the stones might align with ancient structures found on land, or that they could serve as evidence of a significant civilization that once existed in the region. Nevertheless, the lack of definitive proof leaves the Bimini Road shrouded in enigma. As technology advances, divers and scientists continue to study this site, hoping to uncover more evidence that could reveal its true purpose. The allure of the Bimini Road continues to captivate those who seek to understand the secrets of our past and the potential lost knowledge of ancient peoples. Ultimately, whether it is a natural wonder or a remnant of human ingenuity remains an open question, inviting both scientific inquiry and imaginative speculation. The idea of advanced civilizations existing before recorded history is both fascinating and intriguing. To understand this concept, it's important to consider the factors that characterize a civilization. Generally, an advanced civilization has complex social structures, technological capabilities, and the capacity for communication and record-keeping. If we look back through the vast timeline of our planet, there are numerous gaps in our understanding of human development. For tens of thousands of years, early humans lived as hunter-gatherers, and while they developed essential tools and fire, the lack of writing systems meant there are no records from that time. Archaeological evidence shows that societies began to form around agricultural practices, leading to the emergence of cities and written language only within the last several thousand years. But this begs the question: could there have been intelligent beings who reached a sophisticated level of organization before these recorded times? Supporters of the notion suggest that natural disasters, climate changes, or even cosmic events could have led to the sudden collapse of any ancient civilization, erasing their traces from our historical narrative. Think of how the rise and fall of great cultures can occur over time. If an advanced society had emerged and then faced such catastrophic challenges, it might have left little to no evidence behind. Moreover, some archaeological findings show signs of advanced techniques in construction and astronomy that seem to predate known civilizations. For instance, structures like the pyramids of Egypt or the megaliths of Stonehenge suggest sophisticated knowledge of engineering and astronomy. Still, whether these were the result of previous advanced civilizations or the ingenuity of our ancestors is still debated. Conjectures about ancient advanced civilizations spark interest because they invite us to explore our past further. While there's no definitive evidence supporting the existence of such civilizations, the ongoing search for human prehistory remains a riveting field for both scientists and enthusiasts. Ultimately, the question encourages deeper inquiry into our origins and the potential of humanity across vast epochs of time. Ancient people had a remarkable ability to observe and understand the night sky, despite the absence of modern tools like telescopes. They relied heavily on their senses and keen observations. By simply looking up at the stars and the patterns they formed, early astronomers noticed constellations, groups of stars that create recognizable shapes. These patterns were not only beautiful, they served practical purposes. For example, many ancient cultures used the stars for navigation. Travelers would memorize the positions of certain bright stars and constellations to guide them during their journeys. The North Star, for instance, held particular importance as it reliably indicates true north. People also tracked the movements of celestial bodies over time. By observing how stars rose and set, they became adept at predicting seasonal changes. This was crucial for agricultural societies, as it helped them determine when to plant or harvest crops. In addition to visual observations, ancient cultures often recorded star positions in symbolic ways, using drawings or writings. These records not only preserved their astronomical knowledge, but further linked their societies to cultural and religious beliefs. The stars were often seen as representations of gods or spirits, which added meaning to their observations. Through a combination of careful watching, recording, and interpreting the night sky, ancient people created sophisticated maps of the stars that paved the way for future generations of astronomers. Their enduring curiosity and dedication to understanding the cosmos laid the groundwork for the field of astronomy as we know it today. The Antikythera mechanism is often considered the world's first known analog computer, revealing an extraordinary leap in ancient technology. Discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Antikythera, Greece, this intricate device dates back to around the 2nd century BCE. Its design is a marvel, composed of a series of interlocking gears, which allowed for precise calculations of astronomical positions and eclipses. At its core, the mechanism functions like a celestial clock. It was able to predict the cycles of the moon and the sun, tracking their movements across the sky with remarkable accuracy. Imagine gears working together, each one turning in relation to the others, to create a model of the cosmos. With this device, ancient astronomers could map out the heavens, leading to a better understanding of celestial events that were crucial for agriculture, navigation, and even religious observances. The Antikythera mechanism also signifies the advanced state of scientific knowledge in the ancient world. While many civilizations were observing the stars, few had the mathematical ingenuity to build a device that could model those observations so precisely. Its complexity suggests that the ancient Greeks were not only skilled craftsmen, but also sophisticated thinkers, capable of merging science and engineering in ways that were lost for centuries. After the mechanism's discovery, it took a long time for its significance to be fully appreciated. Modern studies using advanced imaging technology have revealed even more about its sophisticated design, showcasing the ingenuity of ancient engineering. The Antikythera mechanism serves as a crucial link between early scientific endeavors and the technological breakthroughs that would follow in later centuries, marking a pivotal moment in the history of human understanding of the universe. Mosasaurus was a giant marine reptile that roamed the oceans during the late Cretaceous period, roughly 65 million to 70 million years ago. Although it shares the saurus name often associated with dinosaurs, it is not a dinosaur but rather a type of lizard, specifically part of the Mosasauridae family. With a streamlined body and powerful tail, it was an apex predator of its time, adept at swimming and fiercely hunting its prey. In terms of size, Mosasaurus varied significantly depending on the species, but some of the largest types could reach lengths of around 50 feet. To picture this in relation to a great white shark, think of the great white, which typically measures about 15 to 20 feet in length. This means that the largest Mosasaurus could be more than twice the length of a great white shark, making it a colossal presence in ancient seas. With its impressive size and formidable teeth, Mosasaurus was well equipped to hunt other large marine creatures, just as great white sharks do today in our oceans. The idea of Megalodon surviving in the deep ocean is intriguing and sparks the imagination. Megalodon, a giant prehistoric shark, roamed the seas millions of years ago and was one of the largest predators in the ocean. To understand whether this colossal creature could still exist today, we need to consider several factors. First, the deep ocean is an incredibly vast environment, covering over half of the Earth's surface and reaching depths that remain largely unexplored. While it's true that some species can thrive in these dark and cold waters, Megalodon had specific needs, particularly in terms of diet and habitat. It likely required large quantities of food to sustain its massive size, feeding primarily on large marine animals like whales. Over time, as the Earth's climate changed and oceans evolved, the food sources Megalodon relied upon became less plentiful. The extinction of such large marine mammals may have made survival for a creature like Megalodon increasingly difficult. Additionally, large paleontological evidence shows that Megalodon indeed vanished millions of years ago. While it is always possible that new species can emerge or that we may discover a previously unknown creature in the depths, the chances of a creature as large as Megalodon existing undetected in the deep ocean seem quite low. The complexities of ocean ecosystems, coupled with the adaptations required for survival in such environments, suggest that the Megalodon, as we know it, is a thing of the past, rather than a secretive inhabitant of today's seas. Plesiosaurs were fascinating marine reptiles that lived during the age of dinosaurs. Imagine a creature with a long neck and a wide body, gliding through ancient oceans. Their swimming motion was quite different from what you might expect. Plesiosaurs had 4 strong flippers that they used like paddles, much like a modern turtle or seal. Instead of moving in a traditional way like fish do, they relied on a unique combination of flapping their flippers in a synchronized rhythm, allowing them to navigate the water efficiently. These creatures were quite versatile in their swimming style. They could move swiftly when needed, but they also had the ability to gently glide through the water, conserving energy while hunting for fish and other prey. The streamlined shape of their body reduced drag, making their underwater movements smooth and graceful. Now, when it comes to the legend of the Loch Ness Monster, it's fascinating to think about how this ancient creature might provide some inspiration. The Loch Ness Monster is often depicted as a large, mysterious animal lurking in the waters of Lake Ness in Scotland. The long neck and large body, much like those of the plesiosaur, could easily contribute to the image that many people visualize when they hear stories about this elusive creature. Sightings that describe a dark shape moving in the water often evoke images reminiscent of a prehistoric marine reptile. While there is no scientific evidence to support the existence of a living plesiosaur or a creature like the Loch Ness Monster in recent times, the characteristics of these ancient reptiles linger in human imagination and folklore. Tales of long-necked beings in large bodies of water might echo the swimming style and anatomy of plesiosaurs, creating lasting connections between old stories and the wonders of our prehistoric past. Leviathan melville was an ancient sperm whale that roamed the oceans around 12 to 13 million years ago, during the Miocene epoch. This creature stands out due to its gigantic size and formidable teeth, which could measure over a foot long. Imagine a modern sperm whale, already an impressive creature. Now picture one that was even larger, reaching lengths that rivaled some of the largest dinosaurs. Unlike today's sperm whales, which primarily feed on squid, Leviathan had an even more fearsome predatory style. With its large teeth, it was likely a top predator, preying on other whales and large marine animals. The unique structure of its teeth suggests that it was well adapted to catch and hold on to slippery prey, making it a fearsome hunter of its time. The skeletal structure of Leviathan indicates that it possessed a heavy, powerful build, enabling it to move swiftly through the water, much like its modern relatives. Fossils found in places like Peru reveal much about its life, showing how it occupied a niche as one of the dominant marine predators of its era. In many ways, Leviathan keeps us fascinated by illustrating not just the diversity of whale evolution, but also the dynamic nature of ocean ecosystems millions of years ago. It provides a perspective on how life in the oceans has transformed, showcasing the balance between predator and prey that has existed throughout history. Prehistoric sea scorpions, known as eurypterids, were fascinating predators that thrived in ancient oceans. To hunt effectively, these creatures had a range of adaptations that made them formidable swimmers and hunters. They typically grew quite large, with some species reaching lengths comparable to a small human. Their bodies were streamlined, allowing them to move through water with agility. The scorpion's appendages included strong claws, which they used to capture prey. These claws were remarkably effective for snatching small fish, cephalopods, and other invertebrates. Equipped with multiple pairs of legs, they could swiftly navigate their environment, whether swimming or crawling along the sea floor. Eurypterids likely employed a hunting strategy that involved patience and stealth. Imagine lurking among rocky outcrops or hidden in sand. They would wait for their targets to come into striking range. Once close enough, they would launch a quick attack, using their claws to grasp and immobilize their prey. Some larger types of sea scorpions may have even hunted in groups, working together to trap more substantial creatures. This cooperative approach allowed them to take on larger prey that an individual might struggle to catch alone. With their keen sensory systems, including large compound eyes, eurypterids could detect movement in murky waters, helping them locate food sources effectively. So, while these prehistoric predators might seem unusual compared to modern hunters, their combination of speed, strength, and strategic behavior made them successful hunters in the oceans of their time. The title of the largest marine reptile belongs to a creature known as the ichthyosaur. Imagine a giant dolphin-like animal that lived during the age of the dinosaurs. One of the largest species found in what is now North America reached lengths of almost 25 meters, which is akin to the length of a bus. Ichthyosaurs thrived in the oceans, showcasing a streamlined body perfect for swift swimming. Their large eyes suggest they may have hunted in deep waters, relying on keen vision to spot prey. These ancient creatures give us insight into the diverse life that existed millions of years ago, as they were not dinosaurs, but unique reptiles that evolved to conquer the seas. Fossil evidence shows that ichthyosaurs were highly adapted to their environment, with powerful flippers and a long, slender shape optimized for speed. Their existence indicates the remarkable adaptability of life in oceans, exploring different evolutionary paths separate from land animals. Understanding ichthyosaurs not only reveals the wonders of prehistoric marine life, but also highlights the complex ecosystems that existed long before humans walked the earth. Yes, sharks did exist long before dinosaurs roamed the earth. In fact, sharks have been around for more than 400 million years, which means they surfaced during the Devonian period. This was a time when the planet was predominantly underwater, with diverse marine life flourishing. Dinosaurs, on the other hand, appeared much later, roughly 250 million years ago during the Triassic period. Sharks are ancient creatures that have survived multiple mass extinctions, showcasing their remarkable adaptability. While the dinosaurs came and went, sharks have maintained their presence in the oceans for hundreds of millions of years. Their bodies have changed little over this vast time span, demonstrating that they are successful predators, well suited to their environments. Sharks predate dinosaurs by a significant margin, making them one of the oldest surviving species on the planet. The story of the first flying creatures begins millions of years ago. It started with trees and lush landscapes, providing abundant food and shelter. Among the many inhabitants of these environments were small, gliding animals. Initially, these creatures did not fly as we think of it today. Instead, they had adaptations that allowed them to glide from tree to tree, catching air currents and swooping down to catch prey or escape from predators. These early gliders had elongated limbs and flaps of skin between their fingers and toes. This structure created more surface area, acting like wings as they jumped or fell. Over generations, those individuals that could glide more efficiently would have a better chance of surviving and reproducing, passing on these advantageous traits. As the environment continued to change, some creatures began to develop more sophisticated features. Their limbs became more wing-like. This transition marked the beginning of true flapping flight. These creatures gradually evolved lighter bones and stronger muscles to power their new wings, allowing them to navigate the skies with greater skill. Through millions of years of evolution, creatures like dinosaurs started showcasing these advanced adaptations. Eventually, one lineage of small dinosaurs evolved into the first birds, the prime examples of flight. Their wings allowed them not just to glide, but to gain lift and maneuver through the air, a revolutionary advantage for finding food and avoiding threats. From those early flying animals, countless species emerged and flourished in the skies, each adapting in different ways to take advantage of the aerial world. This fascinating journey illustrates the power of evolution and how small changes can lead to the emergence of entirely new and remarkable forms of life. Flying creatures gave rise to birds, bats, and insects, each showcasing a beautiful diversity in their adaptations for flight. Pterosaurs are often mistakenly labeled as dinosaurs, but they actually belong to a different group of reptiles. Think of pterosaurs as flying reptiles that lived during the same time as dinosaurs, but they are not part of the dinosaur family tree. Dinosaurs are specifically land-dwelling creatures that have a certain body structure, which pterosaurs do not share. Pterosaurs had unique adaptations for flight, including wings created from a skin and muscle membrane that stretched from their elongated fourth finger down to their bodies. This allowed them to soar through the skies using lightweight bones, which were hollow and filled with air, just like many birds today. They varied greatly in size, from small crow-sized creatures to colossal species with wingspans that could rival small airplanes. While pterosaurs and dinosaurs coexisted and shared some common ancestors, their classification is unique. They belong to a larger lineage called archosaurs, which also includes modern birds and crocodiles. So, while pterosaurs are fascinating relatives of dinosaurs, they are not technically classified as dinosaurs themselves. This distinction highlights the rich diversity of life on Earth during the Mesozoic era, where both dinosaurs and pterosaurs thrived in their own distinct ways. Quetzalcoatlus was truly a remarkable creature, towering above all other flying animals that have ever existed. Imagine a bird with a wingspan stretching as wide as a small airplane. This prehistoric animal could reach lengths comparable to a car. To give a clearer picture, envision standing directly beneath its wings, and you would feel quite small, as they could spread out fully, casting a large shadow on the ground below. What sets Quetzalcoatlus apart is not just its impressive size, but also its fascinating adaptations. Its long neck and beak were designed for catching fish and small animals, much like modern seabirds. It likely soared gracefully through the skies of the late Cretaceous period, using thermal currents to glide long distances without much effort. Despite its enormous size, Quetzalcoatlus weighed much less than you might expect. Its bones were hollow, similar to those of contemporary birds, allowing it to take to the air with relative ease. This combination of features makes Quetzalcoatlus not just an extraordinary flying reptile, but a symbol of the incredible diversity of life that once roamed our planet. Indeed, some prehistoric reptiles had the ability to glide, similar to how modern flying squirrels maneuver through the trees. One of the most notable groups of these reptiles is known as pterosaurs. These creatures lived during the age of dinosaurs and were capable of flight, but some species also developed features that allowed them to glide gracefully through the air. Imagine a creature that had elongated fingers that supported a wing-like membrane stretched between them, much like the wings of a bat, but adapted for soaring rather than flapping flight. These adaptations enabled some pterosaurs to glide over vast distances, using the air currents to stay aloft with minimal effort. By spreading their limbs and angling their bodies, they could cover significant distances, much like flying squirrels do when they leap from branch to branch. Additionally, there were other reptiles that had similar adaptations for gliding. For instance, some members of the family known as the Draco lizards today and their ancestors developed flaps of skin along their bodies and ribs, which allowed them to glide between trees. These ancient reptiles exemplify the incredible diversity and adaptability of life on Earth, showcasing how different species developed similar mechanisms to traverse their environments, even millions of years apart. Archaeopteryx was a remarkable creature that lived around 150 million years ago during the Jurassic period. Often described as the first known bird, it holds a critical place in understanding the evolution of birds from dinosaurs. The discovery of Archaeopteryx provided fascinating clues about how these two groups are interconnected. This ancient animal possessed features that are characteristic of both dinosaurs and modern birds. For example, it had feathers, which are a defining trait of birds, similar to those we see today. However, it also had sharp teeth, a long bony tail, and claws on its wings, which are more reminiscent of its dinosaur ancestors. This unique mix of traits led scientists to consider Archaeopteryx as a transitional species, a link between the mighty reptiles that roamed the earth and the birds that would eventually fill the skies. What makes Archaeopteryx especially significant is its implications for the theory of evolution. Its discovery bolstered the idea that birds evolved from theropod dinosaurs, an insight that reshaped our understanding of how species can adapt and change over millions of years. The fossilized remains of Archaeopteryx also revealed the structure and function of early feathers, helping scientists understand how flight may have developed. Furthermore, the existence of Archaeopteryx prompts intriguing discussions about the characteristics necessary for powered flight and offers valuable insights into the environmental conditions that may have influenced these adaptations. Archaeopteryx is not just a fascinating specimen from the past, it is a crucial piece in the puzzle of our planet's biological history, illustrating the dynamic process of evolution and the origins of the birds we see today. Yes, some prehistoric birds were indeed larger than humans. One of the most remarkable examples is the Argentavis, a giant bird that soared through the skies in what is now Argentina millions of years ago. Imagine a bird that had a wingspan stretching more than twice the length of an average human. This creature would have been able to glide effortlessly, riding warm air currents for long distances. Another example is the elephant bird, native to Madagascar. These massive flightless birds could reach heights comparable to an adult human, standing tall with a posture reminiscent of a small dinosaur. These birds were so large that they could weigh as much as a small car, making them some of the biggest birds to ever live. The size of these prehistoric birds was not just a result of evolving in isolation, it was also influenced by their environment and the availability of resources. Some birds adapted to fill roles similar to those of predators or scavengers in their ecosystems, allowing them to grow to impressive sizes. Their existence adds an incredible chapter to the story of evolution, showcasing the diversity of life that once roamed the earth. The evolution of flight in insects is a fascinating chapter in the story of life on Earth. Insects are the first known creatures to take to the skies, occurring around 300 million years ago. The journey towards flight likely began with ancestors that lived in lush, swampy environments, where they required means to escape predators and access new food sources. These early insects may have developed wings as extensions of their bodies. Imagine the concept of using existing structures for new purposes. Insects had small, wing-like flaps that initially served for regulating temperature or gliding short distances. As time went on, these structures became more developed, allowing for better movement and control in the air. The shift towards powered flight happened gradually. Through natural selection, those insects that could flap their wings more effectively had an advantage. This adaptation not only enhanced their ability to evade threats, but also helped them travel greater distances to find food and mates. The unique wing structure of insects played a crucial role in their ability to fly. Instead of being fully formed wings like those of birds, insect wings evolved to be lightweight and flexible. This design made it easier for them to maneuver in the air. Additionally, they possess a remarkable ability to control their wings independently, allowing them to perform agile movements that are essential for survival. Flying conferred many benefits, turning insects into efficient explorers of their environment. The ability to fly opened up new habitats and opportunities. Over millions of years, flight among insects diversified, leading to an astonishing range of species and behaviors, showcasing nature's creativity in adapting to changing conditions. Today, insects represent one of the most successful groups of flying animals, a testament to their extraordinary evolutionary path. The first plants to conquer land were simple, non-flowering organisms known as bryophytes, which include mosses. These early plants emerged during a period that occurred over 400 million years ago. At that time, the Earth was a very different place, dominated by water and lacking the variety of life we see today. These pioneering plants were likely small and low to the ground, spreading out rather than growing tall. Their unique structure allowed them to absorb water and nutrients directly from the air and the moisture around them, which was essential for survival in a terrestrial environment. They didn't have roots like modern plants. Instead, they had structures called rhizoids to anchor themselves to the soil and absorb water. Eventually, as mosses and similar plants established themselves on land, they created the first ecosystems, changing the environment by adding organic matter to the soil and helping to retain moisture. This transformation laid the groundwork for the evolution of more complex plants, leading to the diverse flora we see today. The journey of life on this planet began with these resilient pioneers, marking a significant turning point in the history of Earth. Prehistoric forests had a profound impact on Earth's atmosphere, serving as the lungs of our planet. In ancient times, vast expanses of trees and plants filled the landscape, absorbing carbon dioxide from the air. This absorption played a critical role in regulating the levels of this greenhouse gas, which helps trap heat in the atmosphere. As these forests thrived, they underwent photosynthesis, converting sunlight into energy and releasing oxygen as a byproduct. This process contributed significantly to the oxygen levels in the atmosphere, transforming it from a largely inhospitable environment into one that could support a wide range of life forms. The increasing availability of oxygen allowed for the evolution of more complex organisms, setting the stage for a diverse range of habitats and ecosystems. Furthermore, prehistoric forests influenced weather patterns and climate. By releasing water vapor through a process known as transpiration, trees helped to regulate humidity and precipitation. These interactions between forests and the atmosphere helped shape local climates, creating conditions conducive to sustained biodiversity. As these ancient trees died and decayed, they also contributed to the formation of coal and other fossil fuels, locking away carbon for millions of years. This storage of carbon further impacted the carbon cycle and has played a crucial role in long-term climate stability. Prehistoric forests were not just background scenery. They were vital players in the evolution of Earth's atmosphere. Their influence on carbon dioxide and oxygen levels, along with their role in climate regulation, helped forge a planet capable of supporting diverse and complex life. During the Carboniferous period, which lasted from about 360 million to 300 million years ago, the landscape was dominated by lush forests filled with enormous ferns. These giant ferns could grow to impressive heights, often reaching sizes similar to modern trees. They were part of a remarkable variety of plant life, thriving in warm and humid environments that covered much of the Earth. Unlike many ferns we see today, which tend to be much smaller, the Carboniferous ferns had thick, sturdy trunks. Their large, feathery leaves spread out wide, providing plenty of surface area to capture sunlight necessary for photosynthesis. This rich green foliage created dense canopies above, allowing unique ecosystems to develop below, filled with diverse plant and animal life. These massive plants played an essential role in shaping the Earth's atmosphere. As they grew and eventually died, their remains contributed to the formation of vast coal deposits, which we later used as a significant energy source. The decay of these giant ferns and other plant materials created an oxygen-rich environment, which was crucial for the evolution of many species, including early insects and amphibians. The presence of these giant ferns contributed to a vibrant and dynamic ecosystem, supporting a wide variety of life forms and creating the conditions that paved the way for future advancements in terrestrial biodiversity. The giant ferns of the Carboniferous period were not just remarkable plants of their time, they were foundational to the development of life on land as we know it today. Yes, some prehistoric plants likely had the ability to capture and digest animals, similar to the modern-day Venus flytrap. While not all plants are capable of this, certain types, known as carnivorous plants, have evolved specialized adaptations that allow them to thrive in nutrient-poor environments by supplementing their diet with insects and small creatures. During prehistoric times, plants like the ancestors of today's carnivorous species could have developed unique mechanisms to trap and digest animals. For example, some of these plants might have used sticky surfaces or rapid motion to ensnare unwary insects. These adaptations would not have only provided nutrients, but also helped them survive in harsh conditions where the soil lacked essential minerals. These processes are fascinating, not just for how they function, but also for how they illustrate the remarkable ways life on Earth adapts to its environment. By obtaining energy and nutrients from different sources, these plants demonstrate the diversity of life forms that once inhabited the planet, showcasing an intricate relationship of adaptation between flora and fauna long before today's ecosystems emerged. The title of the biggest tree to ever exist goes to a giant sequoia known as General Sherman. This impressive tree can be found in California's Sequoia National Park. Imagine a tree that stands taller than a 20-story building and has a trunk so wide that it would take several people holding hands to wrap around it. General Sherman reaches heights over 155 feet and has a trunk volume that makes it one of the largest living organisms on Earth. Giant sequoias are known for their incredible size and longevity. Some of these trees can live for over 3,000 years, witnessing significant events in Earth's history. Their massive size is the result of a combination of factors including ideal growing conditions, fertile soil, ample sunlight, and access to water. What truly sets trees like General Sherman apart is not just their height, but their sheer mass. The trunk alone weighs thousands of tons. Their impressive structure helps them withstand harsh weather, fires, and pests, thanks to thick bark that serves as protective armor. So, while many trees may be taller or wider in specific categories, General Sherman stands out as an extraordinary specimen in the realm of the largest trees ever. The asteroid that struck Earth around 66 million years ago had a catastrophic impact beyond just eliminating the dinosaurs. This event, which created a massive crater in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula, unleashed an incredible amount of energy, equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs. The immediate aftermath was a series of devastating fires and a cloud of dust and debris that blocked sunlight for an extended period. The loss of sunlight created dark and cold conditions worldwide, disrupting photosynthesis, the process plants use to make food. With less sunlight, many plants began to struggle and die off. This decline affected the entire food chain since a vast number of herbivores relied on these plants for sustenance. As these herbivores vanished, predators that fed on them faced starvation. However, this chaos also opened doors for new life. In the absence of dominant species, smaller plants, particularly those capable of growing quickly and in less than ideal conditions, began to thrive. Weeds and certain types of flowering plants adapted to the changing environment and took advantage of the newly available resources. Ultimately, while the asteroid event led to destruction, it also initiated an ecological transformation. Over time, this paved the way for the emergence of new species and ecosystems. The world changed, giving rise to the age of mammals and the diverse plant life we see today. Consequently, the asteroid's impact was a catalyst for both destruction and renewal, shaping the future of life on Earth. The idea of bringing extinct plants back to life using their DNA is an intriguing concept. Imagine a scenario where scientists are able to gather and analyze the genetic material from remnants of these plants, like seeds trapped in ancient layers of soil or even preserved in ice. This genetic material holds the blueprint of the plant's structure and functions, much like a recipe. Once scientists have extracted this DNA, they can study it to understand how the plant was designed to grow and thrive. The next step would involve synthesizing this DNA, which means creating a sequence that matches the original as closely as possible. This could be done by using advanced techniques that allow researchers to assemble the genetic code piece by piece. However, reviving a plant is not simply about reconstructing its DNA. Plants rely heavily on their environments to grow. They need specific conditions, like the right soil, climate, and ecosystem, to flourish. Even if scientists successfully create a living version of the plant using its DNA, it would require the appropriate conditions to thrive in today's world, which may be vastly different from the environment where it once existed. Moreover, there are ethical considerations as well. Introducing an extinct plant into a modern ecosystem could disrupt the delicate balance of current species. The consequences of such actions are complex and need careful thought. While the revival of extinct plants through DNA is not an outright impossibility, it carries challenges that go far beyond merely reconstructing their genetic makeup. The journey from DNA to a thriving plant intertwines with understanding ecosystems, conservation, and responsible science, making it an exciting area of exploration for the future. The journey from reptiles to mammals is a fascinating tale that spans millions of years. It all began during a time known as the late Carboniferous period, when our planet was home to a diverse array of reptiles. Among these reptiles, some began to develop traits that would eventually define mammals. One significant group of reptiles were the synapsids. These creatures had unique features, including a skull structure that allowed for a more efficient jaw movement, which is different from that of their reptilian relatives. Over time, these early synapsids evolved into various forms, some adapting to life on land, while others became increasingly specialized. As the environment changed, especially during the Permian period, some of these synapsids started to develop characteristics that we associate with mammals today. For instance, they began to grow larger brains relative to body size, which is linked to complex behaviors and problem-solving abilities. Other key changes included the development of fur to help regulate body temperature and a shift towards giving live birth instead of laying eggs, particularly in the later mammalian ancestors. The journey took a significant turn around the time of the mass extinction event approximately 65 million years ago, which wiped out many of the dominant reptiles, including the dinosaurs. In the wake of this extinction, mammals began to thrive and diversify, adapting to various ecological niches. Throughout this evolutionary process, mammals grew smaller, became more agile, and developed specialized teeth for different diets. By the time we reached the early Cenozoic era, mammals had established themselves as the prominent group of animals on land. Mammals evolved from reptiles through a series of gradual changes over vast time periods, marked by adaptations that allowed them to survive and thrive in a changing world. This stunning transformation exemplifies the intricate tapestry of evolution, showcasing how life can adapt and flourish through the challenges presented by different environments. The first mammals appeared during a time known as the Mesozoic era, roughly 200 million years ago. These early mammals were small, often no larger than modern-day mice. They were likely nocturnal, meaning they were active during the night, which helped them avoid the larger dinosaurs that dominated the day. These mammals had several features that made them different from their reptilian relatives. They were warm-blooded, allowing them to regulate their body temperature and thrive in various environments. Their fur helped with insulation and kept them warm in cooler conditions. The evolution of mammary glands also marked a significant turning point. These glands allowed females to produce milk, which nourished their young, a key factor in their survival and development. In terms of physical characteristics, early mammals had a diverse range of body shapes and sizes. Some had sharp teeth for eating insects, while others might have had flat teeth suited for grinding plant material. Their bones were structured differently from reptiles, particularly in the jaw area, where the evolution of a single bone began to replace the multiple bones found in reptiles, contributing to a more efficient way of processing food. In the vast world of the Mesozoic, these early mammals lived quietly, often in the shadows of the massive dinosaurs. It wasn't until after the dinosaurs became extinct that mammals began to diversify and evolve into the many forms we see today. This turning point opened the door for mammals to thrive and occupy a variety of ecological niches, leading eventually to the incredible range found across the globe now. Prehistoric marsupials were fascinating creatures that roamed the Earth millions of years ago, and they had quite a few differences compared to the marsupials we see today, like kangaroos and koalas. To start with, many of these ancient marsupials were much larger than those that exist in modern times. For instance, some prehistoric species reached sizes comparable to large mammals today, like a bear or even a small car. Their bodies were adapted to different environments and ecosystems. While modern marsupials have evolved to fit specific niches, prehistoric species were often more diverse in their form and behavior. Some, like the Diprotodon, resembled giant wombats and were herbivores, while others, like the Thylacine, which is sadly extinct, acted more like predators, hunting other animals. Another significant difference was in their habitats. Many prehistoric marsupials lived in environments that no longer exist today, such as lush rainforests and vast grasslands. Climate changes over millennia have altered these habitats, leading to extinctions and shaping the evolution of their modern relatives. In these earlier times, marsupials could have found themselves alongside massive reptiles, early primates, and enormous flightless birds. Reproductive strategies also set prehistoric marsupials apart. While modern marsupials are known for giving birth to underdeveloped young that continue to grow in the mother's pouch, it is believed that some ancient marsupials had different methods of reproduction, much like some placental mammals today, which could have led them to have a wider range of offspring. All of these differences paint a picture of a long evolutionary journey. The prehistoric marsupials tell us a story of adaptation, survival, and the impact of environmental change, an ongoing process that still shapes the marsupials we see around us today. This connection to our planet's dynamic history gives us insight into how life evolves in response to a world that is always shifting. Andrewsarchus is a fascinating and large prehistoric creature that lived approximately 60 million years ago during the early Eocene epoch. It is often likened to a mix between a wolf and a pig, earning it the nickname prehistoric wolf pig. However, this label can be misleading, as its true relationships are more complex. Imagine a creature that stands about the height of a large modern-day wolf, but possesses a broad, heavy body similar to that of a large pig. Andrewsarchus had a long, elongated skull, filled with sharp teeth well suited for a carnivorous diet. This unique combination of features makes it easier to see how it captures the imagination of scientists and enthusiasts alike. Andrewsarchus is part of a group called the Mesonychids. These animals were early members of a lineage that eventually gave rise to modern whales. While they maintained some characteristics of mammals we see today, their overall structure was different, showcasing a blend of adaptations. The nickname wolf pig reflects its size and the combined features of predatory and herbivorous mammals, allowing people to visualize this extraordinary creature in relation to animals they know. Understanding Andrewsarchus helps scientists piece together the story of mammalian evolution and how various traits and habitats have transformed over millions of years. The mystery of its existence provides valuable insights into the diversity of life that once roamed the Earth shortly after the age of dinosaurs came to an end. Indricotherium, often regarded as the largest land mammal, was indeed larger than modern elephants. Picture a creature that stood several stories tall at the shoulder and weighed as much as a small truck. This giant, which lived millions of years ago, was part of an ancient group of animals known as hornless rhinoceroses. Its overall size was quite astonishing. Its long neck allowed it to reach high into trees, while its vast body supported a massive frame. While modern elephants are impressive with their height and weight, Indricotherium surpassed them in sheer bulk. Just to imagine the scale, think of an elephant that is about twice the weight and height, moving gracefully through ancient forests. Yet despite its enormous size, Indricotherium was likely an herbivore, munching on leaves from tall trees and shrubs. This way of life made it well adapted to its environment, different from elephants today, which have to navigate more complex landscapes that include savannas and grasslands. When considering its size, Indricotherium certainly stood out as a colossus, larger than any land mammal we know today, including elephants. This ancient beast illustrates the incredible diversity of life that once roamed the Earth and how different ecosystems can give rise to creatures of extraordinary proportions. The journey from early primates to modern humans unfolds over millions of years, marked by gradual adaptation and change. Early primates appeared around 60 to 70 million years ago, during a time when the world was cloaked in vast forests. These small, tree-dwelling creatures were adapted to life in the canopies, using their keen senses and agile bodies to navigate their environment. As time progressed, these early primates developed unique traits that enabled them to thrive. They evolved features like larger brains, forward-facing eyes for better depth perception, and flexible limbs for climbing. These advancements allowed them to become more adept at grasping branches and maneuvering through the trees. About 20 to 30 million years ago, a split occurred in the primate lineage. Some primates became what we now recognize as monkeys, while others took a different path that would eventually lead to apes. Apes are generally larger than monkeys and have no tails, among other distinguishing traits. Through evolutionary pressures, such as changes in climate, habitat, and food availability, early apes adapted to a variety of environments. The ancestors of modern humans shared a common lineage with other apes, such as chimpanzees and gorillas, about 6 to 7 million years ago. This period was marked by significant changes as some ape species began walking on two legs, a trait known as bipedalism. This shift opened up new possibilities, allowing them to travel greater distances and use their hands for other tasks, such as crafting tools. As time moved on, different hominin species emerged, each showing various adaptations. Some became more skilled at using tools, and social structures became more complex as these early humans started living in groups. These changes were crucial, not only for survival, but also for cultural development. Approximately 2 million years ago, the genus Homo emerged, which includes our direct ancestors. They displayed larger brains and more advanced tool-making abilities. The development of language and social cooperation among these early humans was a game-changer, allowing them to communicate effectively and share knowledge. Over time, this lineage of humans faced numerous challenges and opportunities, such as migrations across continents, climatic shifts, and changing ecosystems. These experiences shaped their evolution and led to the modern human species we belong to today. The path from early primates to humans is a complex tapestry woven from environmental pressures, adaptations, and social developments, showcasing the incredible journey of evolution over millions of years. The difference in size among mammals is influenced by several interconnected factors, including environmental conditions, availability of resources, and evolutionary adaptations. During certain periods in Earth's history, like the age of the dinosaurs, some mammals developed large sizes as a survival strategy. These enormous mammals, often referred to as megafauna, had advantages like deterring predators and being able to travel long distances in search of food and water. One driving force behind this growth was the climate. During warm periods, vast grasslands and forests provided ample food sources, allowing some species to grow larger to process more food effectively. Larger creatures often need more energy, but in these nutrient-rich environments, they could meet their needs more easily. Conversely, in other situations where resources were limited, smaller sizes became beneficial. Smaller mammals are often able to exploit different food sources, reproduce more quickly, and occupy niches that larger animals cannot. This adaptability can be crucial, especially in environments where food is scarce or competition is high. Over millions of years, natural selection favored traits that helped certain populations thrive in their specific habitats, leading to the diversity and size we see today. Therefore, the evolution of mammal size is not just a matter of growing larger or smaller, but rather a complex dance of survival strategies that depend on the ever-changing world around them. Early humans faced significant challenges during the Ice Age, a period marked by harsh cold and massive ice sheets covering much of the Earth. Their survival depended on several key adaptations and strategies. To begin with, they became skilled hunters and gatherers. This meant relying on the natural resources available in their environment. Early humans hunted a variety of animals, such as mammoths and reindeer, which provided them with food, clothing, and tools. They developed effective hunting techniques, often employing teamwork and using simple but innovative tools made from stone, bone, and wood. In addition to hunting, gathering was essential. Early humans collected plants, berries, and nuts, which contributed additional food sources. Understanding which plants were safe to eat was crucial for their survival. They also learned to identify and follow animal migration patterns, ensuring a steady supply of food throughout the seasons. Shelter played a tremendous role in their survival. Early humans sought refuge in caves or constructed temporary homes made from materials they could find, such as animal hides and branches. These shelters offered protection from the biting cold and harsh wind. Fire was another vital resource. Mastering the use of fire allowed them to cook food, which made it safer to eat and easier to digest, while also providing warmth and light during long, dark nights. Social structures emerged as essential for survival, as sharing resources and knowledge supported stronger communities. By working together, early humans could better protect themselves from predators, care for the young and sick, and increase their chances of finding and processing food. This cooperation laid the groundwork for more complex societies. Ultimately, early humans adapted with remarkable resilience to the challenges posed by the Ice Age. Through innovation and collaboration, they managed not just to survive, but to lay the foundations of human culture that would continue to evolve long after the last ice sheets melted. To hunt mammoths, prehistoric people utilized a variety of tools and weapons that reflected their resourcefulness and understanding of their environment. One of the primary weapons was the spear. These long, pointed sticks allowed hunters to keep a safe distance from the massive creatures while still delivering a lethal blow. Some spears were simply made from sharpened wood, while others featured stone points that were meticulously crafted to be both strong and sharp. In addition to spears, early humans developed sophisticated hunting techniques that included the use of thrusting and throwing weapons. They often employed atlatls, which are tools that help launch spears with greater force and distance. This innovation gave hunters a significant advantage, allowing them to strike from a safer range. Moreover, teamwork played a crucial role in mammoth hunting. Groups of hunters would coordinate their efforts to drive a mammoth into a designated area, which might include natural traps such as steep cliffs or icy waters. This strategy increased their chances of success while minimizing the risk to individual hunters. Furthermore, the use of remains from other hunted animals was not uncommon. For instance, they crafted tools and weapons from bone and antler, shaping them into effective instruments for the hunt. All of these methods combined show how prehistoric humans were skilled at adapting their tools and tactics to overcome the challenges posed by such large and formidable prey as mammoths. The Lascaux cave paintings, discovered in France, hold immense significance for our understanding of early human history and culture. Dating back approximately 17,000 years, these breathtaking artworks provide a glimpse into the lives of our ancestors during the Paleolithic era. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Lascaux paintings is their detailed representation of a variety of animals, such as bison, deer, and horses. These creatures were likely a vital part of the diet and daily life of the people who created the artwork. By studying these images, researchers can infer what animals were common at the time and how early humans interacted with their environment. The variety and vibrancy of the artwork also suggest that these early artists had a sophisticated understanding of their surroundings and a developed sense of aesthetics. In addition to showcasing animal life, the Lascaux paintings hint at the social or spiritual practices of these ancient people. The placement and choice of subjects may indicate that these artworks were part of rituals or ceremonies important to their community. This evokes the possibility that art was used not just for storytelling, but also as a means of communication, conveying beliefs and shared experiences. The techniques used to create these paintings are equally fascinating. The artists employed natural pigments made from minerals and plants, revealing their resourcefulness. They used primitive tools to apply the paint, showcasing their creativity and skill. The preservation of these astonishing images over millennia allows us to appreciate the early human experience and the cognitive developments of our ancestors. The significance of the Lascaux cave paintings lies in their rich depiction of prehistoric life, offering insights into diet, social structure, and artistic expression. They serve as a powerful connection to our distant past, reminding us of the shared heritage and evolving capabilities of humanity. Yes, humans and Neanderthals did interbreed, and this has profound implications for our understanding of human evolution. When early modern humans migrated out of Africa, they encountered Neanderthals in Europe and parts of Asia. These two groups, although distinct species, shared a common ancestor, and genetic evidence shows that they exchanged genes when they came into contact. This interbreeding resulted in modern humans of non-African descent carrying a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA in their genomes, typically around 1 to 2%. This genetic contribution has been linked to various traits and health factors in modern humans, influencing everything from immune responses to skin color. The presence of this Neanderthal genetic material reflects a complex history of interaction and adaptation, illustrating that early humans not only survived alongside Neanderthals, but also incorporated aspects of their biology into their own lineage. The discovery of this genetic link has reshaped our view of human history, showing that rather than being separate and isolated, these early humans were part of a dynamic tapestry of interactions and exchanges across species. The domestication of dogs is a fascinating tale that stretches back thousands of years. It began with a unique partnership between humans and wolves. Early humans, living in small groups, faced many challenges in their daily lives, including hunting for food and protecting themselves from larger predators. Wolves, on the other hand, were intelligent scavengers. They roamed close to human camps, drawn by the remains of the animals humans hunted. Over time, some wolves began to adapt to life near humans. They became less fearful and sought out these camps for easy meals. In return for food, these wolves provided humans with several benefits. They helped with hunting by alerting humans to danger and even assisted in tracking game. This early relationship was based on mutual benefit. Wolves had access to food, while humans gained companionship and assistance. As generations passed, humans began to selectively breed these wolves for specific traits. They favored individuals that were less aggressive and more social, gradually leading to the development of a new species that we recognize today as dogs. This process took many centuries, as humans and their canine companions formed deeper bonds. The gentle wolves that best adapted to human life gradually underwent physical and behavioral changes. They grew smaller with shorter snouts and fluffier coats, traits that made them more appealing as pets. Unlike their wild ancestors, these early dogs exhibited behaviors more aligned with human expectations, such as loyalty and friendliness. This further solidified their role as companions. As humans migrated across continents, they took their dogs with them, leading to the development of various breeds adapted to different environments and tasks, from herding sheep to guarding homes. The domestication of dogs is a story of cooperation and adaptation. It highlights how two species can work together and change in ways that benefit both. This relationship laid the groundwork for the special connection that we share with dogs today, revealing the extraordinary journey of evolution that unfolded alongside our own. Shamans and early religions held significant roles in prehistoric tribes, serving as critical links between the physical and spiritual worlds. These individuals were often seen as healers, guides, and mediators who could connect their communities to the unseen forces around them. The shaman, typically possessing special knowledge and skills, would enter altered states of consciousness, often through rituals or the use of natural substances. This practice allowed them to access spiritual realms where they believed they could communicate with ancestors, spirits, or deities. The early religions that developed within these tribes helped to create a shared sense of identity and purpose. They provided frameworks for understanding natural events, such as the changing of the seasons or the cycles of life and death. Myths and stories passed down through generations explained the world and reinforced social norms and values. Through rituals and ceremonies, tribes would celebrate significant events like births, harvests, and the changing cycle of life, which strengthened community bonds and ensured cultural continuity. Furthermore, shamans often played a crucial role in decision-making processes during crises, whether addressing environmental challenges or spiritual conflicts within the tribe. Their insights and healing practices were vital for maintaining the overall health of the community, both physically and mentally. In this way, early religions and the shamanic practices associated with them were not merely superstitions, but rather essential elements that guided prehistoric tribes through their everyday lives, ensuring survival and cohesion in a world that was often unpredictable and demanding. The idea of unknown human species coexisting with us is a fascinating one that touches upon both our evolutionary history and the ongoing discoveries in archaeology and anthropology. Imagine a time when early humans roamed the earth. They were not alone. There were other human-like beings, often referred to as hominins. Some, like Neanderthals, lived alongside our ancestors and even interbred with them, leaving traces of their DNA in modern humans. Now, even though many of these species have been studied, the possibility of undiscovered human relatives remains exciting. As scientists explore caves, ancient sites, and remote areas, new evidence may surface. Fossils, artifacts, and even genetic material can provide clues to species that might have existed but have yet to be identified. The search for these hidden connections can reveal a more complex picture of our past, showcasing a web of human-like beings adapting to their environments. Consider the vastness of Earth, with its ancient landscapes that have been transformed over millennia. Many remote regions may still harbor secrets, waiting to be uncovered. The development of advanced technology, like genetic analysis and imaging techniques, allows researchers to investigate deeper than ever before. Every discovery has the potential to reshape our understanding of what it means to be human. While we have identified several human relatives, the intriguing possibility remains that there are more out there, species lost to time, yet waiting patiently to tell their stories. As we continue to explore, who knows what remarkable insights the future may hold about the diverse tapestry of human evolution. The coelacanth is a remarkable fish that has fascinated scientists and the public alike. It dates back to the time of the dinosaurs, existing around 400 million years ago. For many years it was believed to be extinct, with its last known species disappearing approximately 65 million years ago. This idea solidified the coelacanth's status as a relic of the ancient seas. The shock came in the late 1950s when a fisherman off the coast of South Africa caught a strange fish. When researchers examined it, they realized it bore striking similarities to the ancient drawings of the coelacanth. It was a living representation of a species thought long gone. This discovery challenged what scientists knew about evolution and the history of life on Earth. The coelacanth is particularly intriguing because it has unique features that separate it from most modern fish. Its pectoral fins are lobed and resemble the limbs of land vertebrates, hinting at the evolutionary connection between fish and the creatures that eventually colonized land. This surprising find not only reignited interest in paleontology, but it also prompted questions about how many other ancient species might still exist, hidden in the depths of the oceans, waiting to be discovered. The coelacanth serves as a reminder that our understanding of life's history is always evolving, with new revelations waiting just below the surface. Crocodiles are often referred to as living fossils, and this status stems from their remarkable ability to adapt, while largely maintaining the same body structure for millions of years. Imagine creatures from the age of the dinosaurs lurking in the waters and roaming the land, and you'll find that today's crocodiles share many features with their ancient ancestors. To understand this phenomenon, we look at evolution, which is the gradual change in species over time. Unlike fast-evolving animals, crocodiles have thrived in stable environments, making significant changes unnecessary for their survival. Their body shape is perfectly suited for both hunting and swimming, giving them an advantage in diverse habitats. The elongated snout allows for a powerful bite while remaining streamlined for swimming. Their tough, scaly skin protects them from predators and harsh conditions, a feature that's also been retained through the ages. Crocodiles have a highly efficient hunting strategy, often lying still and waiting for prey to come close. This ambush technique has proven effective for millions of years, so there's little incentive for major evolutionary shifts. Additionally, their cold-blooded nature allows them to survive with less food and adjust to varying temperatures, providing resilience in changing environments. Though they've existed in a world shaped by numerous transformations, crocodiles have remained largely the same. This impressive stability has allowed them to adapt to various environments without needing drastic changes, making them one of the most successful survivor species in the history of our planet. Their ancient lineage serves as a testament to the effectiveness of their evolutionary design, proving that sometimes the best survival strategy is simply to be precisely what you are. The deep ocean is one of the least explored places on our planet, and it holds many mysteries. Some scientists believe that certain prehistoric creatures might still exist in these dark, uncharted depths. The ocean covers more than 70% of the Earth's surface, and much of it remains untouched by humans. This presents a unique scenario where ancient species could have evolved differently and adapted over millions of years in isolation. Take the coelacanth, for example. This fish was thought to have gone extinct approximately 66 million years ago, but it was discovered alive in the 20th century, swimming in the waters off Madagascar. The coelacanth has remained relatively unchanged for millions of years, showcasing how creatures can survive in deep-sea environments. Moreover, the ocean is home to many odd and rare species that appear almost prehistoric in form. Giant squids and deep-sea jellyfish, for instance, possess characteristics reminiscent of ancient life forms. These creatures have adapted to the extreme conditions of the deep sea, such as immense pressure, darkness, and lack of food, making them intriguing candidates for harboring signs of prehistoric life. While it is unlikely that we will find an entire thriving population of long-extinct prehistoric creatures, the deep ocean likely holds remnants of life forms that can provide valuable insights into the planet's evolutionary history. The search continues, as each expedition into the deep brings new surprises and revelations about the past and the mysteries hidden beneath the waves. Horseshoe crabs are often referred to as living fossils because they have changed very little over millions of years. Imagine creatures that have been part of the Earth's story since before dinosaurs roamed the planet. These crabs belong to a group that first appeared around 500 million years ago. Their body structure has remained remarkably consistent, displaying features that are similar to those found in ancient species. When we look closely at horseshoe crabs, we notice their hard, shell-like exoskeleton, which protects their soft bodies. Their unique shape, with a rounded carapace and a long tail spine, has proven to be an effective design for survival. In addition, they possess 10 limbs that help them move and interact with their environment, adapting perfectly to life in shallow coastal waters. What makes these creatures even more fascinating is that they are more closely related to spiders and scorpions than to true crabs. This connection to ancient arthropods highlights their long evolutionary history. Studies of their blood have revealed another remarkable feature. It is blue and contains a substance that clots around bacteria, making it invaluable for medical research and safety testing. By studying horseshoe crabs, scientists not only learn about the past, but also help protect our health today. Their resilience and age-old design reveal insights into the Earth's biological history, making them an extraordinary link to our planet's deep past. The nautilus is a fascinating creature, often referred to as a living fossil due to its remarkable ability to remain relatively unchanged for millions of years. This cephalopod has been around since before the dinosaurs, showcasing an incredible resilience to environmental changes. One key factor in its survival is its simple yet effective design. The nautilus has a protective shell, which not only safeguards it from predators but also provides buoyancy. This ability to float helps it navigate the ocean with ease, allowing it to hunt for food without expending too much energy. Additionally, the nautilus thrives in deep ocean environments where fewer species are present. This isolation means it has less competition for resources and fewer threats from predators common in shallower waters. The nautilus also has a unique way of adapting to its environment. It can adjust the gas and liquid within its shell to control its depth, making it a master of its habitat. Moreover, the nautilus has a slow reproduction rate and lives for a long time, which allows it to maintain stable populations. This slow pace helps the species avoid rapid changes that might lead to extinction, a key characteristic of many species that have made it through various mass extinctions throughout Earth's history. By combining a well-protected form with effective adaptation strategies and a stable living environment, the nautilus has managed to survive and thrive while remaining similar to its ancient ancestors, providing us with a glimpse into the distant past of life on our planet. The largest turtle to ever exist was the archelon, a giant sea turtle that lived during the late Cretaceous period, around 70 to 75 million years ago. Imagine a creature that could grow to the size of a small car with a shell measuring several meters in length. Archelon was not just remarkable for its size, it also had flipper-like limbs that allowed it to swim gracefully through ancient oceans. The extinction of the archelon is closely linked to dramatic changes in the Earth's environment. During the late Cretaceous, the planet was undergoing significant shifts. Around the time of Archelon's extinction, a massive asteroid impact created a cataclysmic event that altered climate and ecosystems around the globe. This impact likely led to a collection of disastrous effects, including a dramatic drop in temperatures and changes in food availability. With the disruption of marine habitats and the loss of food sources, the Archelon faced intense challenges for survival. The combination of habitat loss, changing ocean conditions, and competition from other species ultimately contributed to the downfall of this magnificent creature. As ecosystems collapsed and the balance of life shifted, the largest turtle, like many other species of its time, faded into extinction, leaving behind only fossils to tell its story. To understand the relationship between modern sharks and their prehistoric ancestors, we must first look at how sharks evolved over millions of years. Sharks are ancient creatures with a history that stretches back more than 400 million years. This means they existed long before dinosaurs roamed the earth. Over this vast time span, they have evolved into many different forms, some of which were quite enormous and adapted to diverse environments. While it is tempting to think of contemporary sharks as simply smaller versions of their prehistoric relatives, the truth is more complex. Sharks today have retained some elements of their ancient features, yet they have also diverged significantly. Prehistoric sharks were often larger, some growing to lengths greater than a school bus. They had unique adaptations that suited their specific habitats and prey at the time. For example, some ancient species boasted long, serrated teeth designed to catch large marine reptiles. Modern sharks have adapted to a range of ecological niches, which means they have different body shapes, sizes, and hunting strategies compared to their ancestors. Modern species like the great white or the hammerhead have evolved distinct traits that allow them to survive in today's oceans. While there is a lineage of connection, it is not a simple case of smaller versions. They are part of a much larger evolutionary story, showing how adaptation and survival have shaped life in the oceans over millions of years. So while modern sharks are descendants of their prehistoric kin and share certain characteristics, they are not merely scaled-down versions. They represent a dynamic saga of evolution, adapting to the changing ecosystems of our planet. Argentinosaurus was one of the largest dinosaurs known to have roamed the Earth during the late Cretaceous period. This massive herbivore walked on 4 legs and is believed to have reached lengths comparable to that of several buses parked end to end. It is estimated to have weighed as much as 50 tons, making it one of the heaviest land animals in history. To understand its size in relation to a blue whale, we first consider the blue whale itself, which is the largest animal ever known to exist. A blue whale can grow to be over 100 feet long and weigh nearly 100 tons. Despite Argentinosaurus being enormous, the blue whale surpasses it in weight. If you visualize this, think of Argentinosaurus as a colossal dinosaur incredibly long and towering, yet the blue whale remains the heavyweight champion of the animal kingdom due to its sheer mass in water. The two giants showcase the extremes of size on land and in the ocean, highlighting the diverse forms of life that have thrived throughout Earth's history. Sauropods, the giant long-necked dinosaurs, were remarkable not just for their size, but also for how they supported it. These enormous creatures could weigh as much as several elephants combined, and yet they managed to function and move with relative ease. Their bones played a crucial role in this. Unlike the bones of smaller animals, sauropod bones were thick and robust. They were built to withstand heavy loads, much like the reinforced structure of a skyscraper. Their long limbs acted like pillars, spreading out beneath their bodies to distribute weight evenly. Imagine a table with 4 sturdy legs. If those legs are strong and spread out wide, the table can hold more weight. Sauropods had a similar design, enabling them to support their massive bulk while remaining stable and mobile. Additionally, their body shape was significant. Sauropods had a large, barrel-shaped torso that contained the organs and muscles necessary to support their enormous size. This design helped to lower the center of gravity, further enhancing stability. The long necks were not just for reaching high vegetation, they also played a role in balancing the body. Finally, these dinosaurs are believed to have used a unique breathing method that involved hollow spaces within their bones, much like modern birds. This adaptation not only made their skeletons lighter, but it also provided added support for their weight. Through strong bones, effective limb design, a balanced body shape, and specialized breathing structures, sauropods could support their impressive weight while thriving in their prehistoric world. The question of whether dinosaurs could have been larger than those we currently know is fascinating and complex. Fossil discoveries have provided us with a wealth of information about these magnificent creatures, revealing some truly enormous species. However, the fossil record is incomplete. This means we might not have found every species that ever existed, and some could have been larger than what we have documented. The size of dinosaurs varied greatly, and researchers believe environmental factors influenced their growth. For instance, the availability of food, climate conditions, and habitat types all play critical roles. If conditions were optimal, it's conceivable that dinosaurs could have reached greater sizes than we can imagine today. Additionally, scientists often find that large animals tend to have slower growth rates and require vast amounts of food to sustain themselves. This means that if there were conditions on Earth that allowed for even larger sizes, such as abundant vegetation and a stable ecosystem, dinosaurs might have evolved into beings far beyond what we classify today. Moreover, as we unearth new fossils and refine our understanding of these massive animals, the possibility of discovering larger species isn't out of the question. Some paleontologists believe that certain dinosaur families might have had the potential for even greater sizes, leading to the speculation that we may still uncover evidence of these giant creatures. While many dinosaurs were already exceptionally large, the idea that even bigger ones could have existed remains a captivating possibility. Each new discovery could bring us closer to understanding the full range of sizes that dinosaurs could have achieved in their reign over the Earth. The speed of a Tyrannosaurus Rex has been a subject of much debate among scientists. To understand this, it's important to consider the creature's body structure. The T-Rex had long legs and a massive body that was designed for strength rather than speed. Some estimates suggest that this dinosaur could run at a speed comparable to a fast human, perhaps around 8 to 12 miles per hour. However, new research indicates that T-Rex may have relied more on short bursts of speed rather than sustained running. Imagine a sprinter who can dash quickly for a short distance, but cannot maintain that pace over time. T-Rex had powerful leg muscles, which would have allowed it to accelerate quickly, but may not have sustained high speeds for long periods. The dinosaur's weight also plays a role in its velocity. As a heavy animal, it would face greater gravitational forces, which limits its ability to run as fast as lighter creatures. While T-Rex was formidable in its environment, it likely wasn't the fastest dinosaur around, preferring to rely on its strength and keen senses to hunt and survive rather than pure speed. Allosaurus and Tyrannosaurus Rex are both fascinating dinosaurs, but they lived in different time periods and had distinct features. Allosaurus roamed the Earth during the late Jurassic period, while T-Rex existed much later, in the late Cretaceous period. This means they lived millions of years apart, showcasing the evolutionary changes that took place over time. In terms of size, Allosaurus was generally smaller than T-Rex. Think of Allosaurus as a large predator, roughly the length of a school bus, while T-Rex was a true giant, comparable to a bus and a half in length. This size difference translates to various hunting strategies. Allosaurus had long arms with sharp claws, which suggest it was built for slashing and gripping its prey, possibly focusing on bigger prey with agility. T-Rex, on the other hand, had a massive skull and powerful jaws lined with large serrated teeth, indicating it may have relied on its biting power to crush bone and tackle enormous prey. Another notable characteristic is their posture and build. Allosaurus had a more elongated body and was likely faster, with longer limbs that could help it chase down prey. T-Rex, in contrast, had a stockier build and more robust legs, designed for holding tremendous weight and delivering powerful bites rather than speed. Regarding their habitats, Allosaurus likely inhabited lush, forested environments, hunting smaller dinosaurs and possibly scavenging. T-Rex was more suited to open plains and forests, facing competition from other large predators of its time. While both were fearsome predators of their respective eras, Allosaurus and T-Rex represent different approaches to survival and adaptation in the prehistoric world. Each played a unique role in the ecosystems they inhabited, driven by their physical traits and the environments they faced. Feathers are often associated with modern birds, but their origins can be traced back to some dinosaur species millions of years ago. Initially, feathers may not have been used for flying. Instead, they likely served other purposes such as insulation or display. Picture a dinosaur, perhaps similar to a small, agile creature called a theropod, which walked on two legs and hunted for food. These dinosaurs probably had feathers to help them stay warm in varied climates. Just as a fluffy coat keeps animals warm today, feathers would have helped maintain their body heat. Additionally, feathers could have been used in mating displays or to attract mates. Imagine colorful feathers, like those seen on peacocks, catching the attention of potential partners during courtship. This kind of display could have been vital for survival, influencing reproduction and the continuation of species. As some of these feathered dinosaurs evolved, features adapted over time, leading to the remarkable birds we see today. So, rather than just being a characteristic of a few species, feathers played a significant role in the lives of some dinosaurs, affecting how they lived, survived, and interacted with their environment. The dream of bringing back dinosaurs has captivated our imagination for decades, especially through films and books. However, when it comes to the reality of cloning a dinosaur from ancient DNA, the complications are significant. First, let's consider DNA. It's a molecule that carries genetic information, and it can degrade over time. Dinosaurs lived millions of years ago, and most scientists believe that DNA breaks down beyond a recognizable point within a few 100,000 years. This decay rate makes finding intact dinosaur DNA quite unlikely. Even if we were to stumble across well-preserved samples, the next challenge is the process of cloning itself. Cloning typically involves taking the DNA from an organism and inserting it into an egg cell, which then develops into a new organism. For dinosaurs, we lack a suitable living species to act as a surrogate mother. Birds are considered the closest living relatives of dinosaurs, but achieving a healthy cloning process from distant ancestral DNA is an immense hurdle. Additionally, it's crucial to consider the ecological impact and ethical implications of bringing back a creature that hasn't roamed the Earth for ages. The environment has dramatically changed, and reintroducing a dinosaur could disrupt existing ecosystems. While the field of genetics is advancing rapidly, the dream of cloning a dinosaur remains firmly in the realm of science fiction for now. The combination of DNA degradation, lack of a suitable surrogate, and ethical considerations creates a formidable barrier against this fascinating concept. Smilodon, commonly known as the saber-toothed cat, was a fascinating predator from the Ice Age. Equipped with impressively long canine teeth, which could reach lengths comparable to a human hand, Smilodon wasn't designed to chase down prey like many modern big cats. Instead, it likely relied on a combination of strength and strategy. Imagine a stalk and ambush hunting style. Smilodon would patiently move through its environment, often using dense vegetation as cover. When a potential meal, such as a large herbivore, came within striking distance, Smilodon would spring into action. It was built with muscular legs and a powerful body, allowing for strong bursts of speed over short distances. Once it pounced on its prey, the saber-toothed cat aimed for vulnerable areas, such as the throat or neck. Its long teeth were perfect for delivering deep, lethal bites. Rather than trying to suffocate or overpower its target through sheer force, Smilodon likely used its teeth to quickly inflict damage and incapacitate the prey. This method minimized the risk of injury to itself while maximizing its chances of a successful hunt. Additionally, paleontologists suggest that Smilodon might have hunted in groups on occasion, similar to how modern lions do today. This cooperative strategy would have allowed it to take down larger animals, providing food for several members of the group. In the harsh environments of the Ice Age, such effective hunting tactics would have been essential for survival. To understand whether a dire wolf could defeat a modern wolf in a fight, we first need to examine the characteristics of both animals. The dire wolf lived during the late Pleistocene and was notably larger than today's grey wolf, which is one of the most common wolf species. While a modern wolf typically weighs between 50 and 100 pounds, some estimates suggest that a dire wolf could have weighed up to 125 pounds or more. This size advantage would likely give the dire wolf greater strength and power. However, the outcome of a confrontation wouldn't rely solely on size. Modern wolves have evolved to be highly effective hunters, displaying keen instincts, social structure, and adaptability. They can work together in packs, using coordinated strategies to take down larger prey, which could potentially offset size differences in a one-on-one scenario. Behavior also plays a crucial role. Modern wolves train through social interactions and learning from experience, which means they are equipped with learned combat techniques and reflexes that have been honed over countless generations. On the other hand, dire wolves lived in a different environment with different prey, which means their hunting and fighting strategies might not directly apply in a modern context. While the sheer size and strength of a dire wolf present a formidable advantage, the hunting skills, team strategies, and adaptability of modern wolves would provide a serious challenge. It's a classic clash of raw power against refined skills, making it hard to definitively state which would prevail if such an encounter were to occur. During the Ice Age, one of the most fearsome predators roaming the landscape was the saber-toothed cat, often referred to as the saber-toothed tiger. This animal was not a tiger in the traditional sense, but belonged to a distinct group of big cats. Its most striking feature was its elongated canine teeth, which could grow longer than a human's hand, giving it a fearsome appearance and an advantage in hunting. Saber-toothed cats had powerful muscular bodies built for strength rather than speed. They likely employed a strategy that involved a stealthy approach, using their sharp claws to climb and navigate rough terrains. When they were close enough to their prey, they would pounce with incredible force, delivering a deadly bite. Their teeth were ideal for slicing through flesh, allowing them to take down large herbivores, such as mammoths and bison. The harsh conditions of the Ice Age shaped their hunting methods as well. They often traveled in small groups, taking down larger prey that would be challenging for a single hunter. This pack mentality not only increased their chances of survival, but also allowed them to protect their young and ensure the availability of food resources. While there were many predators during this era, such as giant wolves and massive bears, the saber-toothed cat stands out as one of the most iconic and terrifying. With its formidable physique and deadly teeth, it holds a significant place in the history of prehistoric predators, capturing the imagination of those who study the ancient world. Its adaptations made it a dominant force, making survival in the icy wilderness not just a matter of strength, but also of cunning and skill. In the harsh conditions of the Ice Age, early humans faced formidable challenges, especially in the form of large predators like saber-toothed cats and massive woolly mammoths. Survival required innovative approaches and a keen understanding of their environment. To defend against these predators, early humans relied on their intelligence and teamwork. They formed groups, which allowed them to work together strategically. This collaboration meant that they could organize hunts or defend their territory as a collective, increasing their chances of survival. When hunting large animals, they would often use strategic ambushes, setting traps or driving prey into narrow areas where they could be more easily controlled. Tools played a vital role in their defense tactics. Early humans crafted weapons from stones and bones, including spears and atlatls, which are tools that help throw spears with greater force and distance. This allowed them to attack from a safe distance, keeping themselves out of reach of powerful jaws and sharp claws. Additionally, early humans understood the importance of fire. Fire provided warmth, light, and a means to cook food, but it also served as a deterrent to predators. The sight and smell of smoke could keep larger animals at bay, making their living areas safer. Campfire circles also created a central gathering place, fostering social interaction and a sense of community among early humans, which further enhanced their ability to protect one another. To sum up, humans thrived in the Ice Age by using intelligence to form groups, creating and utilizing tools for hunting and defense, and harnessing the protective benefits of fire. These combined strategies enabled them to navigate their dangerous world, ensuring their survival in a time of great risk. Yes, in the past there were bears that were even larger than today's polar bear. One of the most notable examples is the short-faced bear, which roamed parts of North America during the last Ice Age. This bear was not only taller, but also had a more powerful build compared to modern bears. Short-faced bears could stand on their hind legs and reach heights similar to a human on a ladder, towering over a typical polar bear. They lived in open landscapes and are believed to have been speedy runners, capable of covering large distances in search of food. Their diet likely included a variety of plants and animals, similar to today's bears, but they could also hunt larger prey. Another prehistoric contender is the giant cave bear, which lived in Europe and was also larger than the polar bear. Like the short-faced bear, the giant cave bear adapted to its environment and had a robust body structure. Both the short-faced bear and the giant cave bear illustrate that evolution can lead to enormous and specialized forms of animals, shaping them to thrive in their ecosystems. While today's polar bear is impressive in size and strength, these ancient bears pushed the limits of what we think of as bear size. Ice Age lions, often referred to as cave lions, were significantly different from the African lions we see today. These majestic creatures roamed vast territories across Europe, Asia, and North America during the Pleistocene epoch. One of the most striking differences was their size. Ice Age lions were typically larger than modern African lions, with a more robust build that helped them thrive in the harsh, colder climates of their time. Another key difference lies in their physical features. Cave lions had longer limbs, arguably adapted for running fast over the snowy terrains, similar to today's Arctic animals. Their skulls and teeth were also more rugged, better suited for hunting large prey, such as mammoths and reindeer. This adaptation was crucial, as their environment was filled with large, herbivorous animals that provided the necessary sustenance. Social structure is another aspect where Ice Age lions may have varied from their African counterparts. Modern African lions live in prides, forming close-knit groups that help them hunt and protect their young. In contrast, cave lions may have been more solitary or lived in smaller family units, as the open landscapes and scarcity of resources might not have favored larger groups. Lastly, their habitat preferences marked a significant difference. While African lions are well adapted to savannas and grasslands, Ice Age lions preferred open tundras and forests. This change in habitat influenced their hunting strategies and behaviors, shaping them into apex predators of their time. In sum, while Ice Age lions share a common ancestry with today's African lions, they differed in size, physical characteristics, social structure, and habitat preferences, showcasing the incredible adaptability of species across different periods and environments. The extinction of numerous predators during the Ice Age is a complex puzzle, tied to a combination of climatic changes and shifts in ecosystems. When the Ice Age began, large parts of the Earth were engulfed in ice, and the environment underwent significant transformations. The colder climate disrupted habitats and food sources for many species. As vegetation struggled to grow in harsh conditions, the herbivores that many predators relied on for food began to dwindle. Additionally, these predators, which included magnificent creatures like saber-toothed cats and giant short-faced bears, were often specialized hunters. Their adaptations made them effective in their environments, but as habitats changed, their specialized skills became less beneficial. With fewer prey around and their own populations dwindling, these predators found it increasingly difficult to survive. Moreover, the arrival of humans during this period introduced a new factor. As human populations grew, they began to hunt large mammals for food, often outcompeting the Ice Age predators for resources. This competition further stressed the already struggling predator populations. The extinction of Ice Age predators was not due to a single cause, but a blend of environmental shifts, loss of prey, and human activities that together led to their decline and eventual disappearance from the Earth. Understanding these interconnected factors helps us grasp the fragility of ecosystems and the profound changes they can undergo. The idea that intelligent species existed before humans raises fascinating possibilities about the history of life on Earth. Scientists explore this question by looking at various forms of life that once thrived on our planet. Dinosaurs roamed for millions of years, exhibiting complex behaviors and social structures. While they displayed remarkable adaptability, there is no evidence suggesting they achieved intelligence comparable to what we consider human-level cognition. Interestingly, intelligence is not just measured by language or technological advancement. Some researchers point to highly social animals, such as certain species of primates, dolphins, and elephants. These creatures exhibit tools, use, communication, and social structure indicating advanced cognitive abilities. However, although these species show forms of intelligence, they did not create civilizations or technologies like humans. Then there are the earlier epochs in Earth's history, such as the Cambrian period, when simple life forms developed rapidly. These organisms demonstrated a variety of strategies for survival, but they lacked the necessary biological complexity for what we define as intelligence. The absence of confirmed intelligent species prior to humans does not completely rule out the potential for such life forms elsewhere in the universe. The conditions and evolutionary paths of other planets might lead to the emergence of intelligent beings, just as humans evolved on Earth. This raises intriguing questions about parallel evolutions and the vast timeline of life, highlighting that Earth's history is just one chapter in the story of life in the universe. The mystery of the missing link in human evolution refers to the ongoing search for fossils that can illustrate the gradual change from our ancient ancestors to modern humans. It's like trying to piece together a puzzle where some key parts are still unaccounted for. The concept of a missing link suggests that there should be a transitional form that bridges the gap between distinct species, especially between early hominins and Homo sapiens, the species we belong to. In the study of evolution, scientists have found numerous fossils representing various stages of human ancestry. These fossils reveal a story of change over millions of years. However, the exact path of evolution isn't always clear, primarily due to gaps in the fossil record. This is partly because fossilization is a rare event, depending on specific conditions that allow bones to be preserved over time. Many discoveries have indeed provided insights, such as the striking fossils of species that walk upright, but still show ape-like characteristics. These findings suggest that evolution is not a straightforward line but a web of branches, where different hominin species existed alongside one another and interacted in complex ways. While we have a growing body of evidence that traces our origins, each new discovery raises further questions. The term missing link is now often viewed less as a single fossil waiting to be found and more as a representation of the intricate web of our ancestry. Scientists continue to explore and study the clues left in the Earth, striving to understand the sophisticated evolution that led us to where we are today, with each piece of new evidence illuminating layers of our ancient past. When we think of dinosaurs, we often picture them as massive creatures dominated by brute strength. However, the reality is more nuanced, and some dinosaur species might have exhibited behavioral traits that hint at primitive forms of intelligence. Take, for instance, certain small theropods, like the velociraptor. These dinosaurs had relatively large brains compared to their body size, a trait often associated with higher cognitive capabilities. Their physical adaptations suggest they were social creatures, potentially hunting in packs and communicating with one another. This kind of social activity implies a level of problem-solving and strategic thinking. Furthermore, fossils show that some dinosaurs had complex behaviors, such as nesting and caring for their young, which requires a certain degree of planning and foresight. Paleontologists also consider the relationships between dinosaurs and modern birds. Birds are descendants of theropod dinosaurs, and they display remarkable intelligence today, capable of using tools and solving puzzles. It can be inferred that some dinosaurs possessed a level of intelligence that was foundational for the cognitive skills we see in birds now. Ultimately, while it may not be accurate to say that dinosaurs had intelligence comparable to mammals, they certainly displayed behaviors that indicate a degree of cognitive ability. These insights reveal that the evolution of intelligence was not unique to mammals, but may have roots in the ancient behaviors of dinosaurs. The megafauna of Australia, which thrived during the last ice age, included enormous creatures like giant kangaroos, massive wombat-like animals, and enormous flightless birds. These animals roamed the continent, well adapted to its diverse ecosystems. However, their fate dramatically changed around 50,000 years ago. As humans began to inhabit Australia, their arrival significantly affected the environment and the large animals that lived there. The hunting practices of these early humans are believed to have contributed to the decline of megafauna. As they migrated and established more permanent settlements, they hunted these large creatures either for food or to control populations that may have threatened their survival. Additionally, shifts in climate played a crucial role. As the Ice Age came to a close, Australia's climate became warmer and drier. This change altered the habitats where these megafauna lived, leading to a reduction in food sources and resulting in more challenging living conditions. The combination of hunting pressures from humans and the changing environment proved too much for many of these giant animals to withstand. Ultimately, by around 40,000 years ago, most of Australia's megafauna had disappeared. Although extinction is a complex issue often fueled by multiple factors, The interplay of human activity and environmental changes during this period is widely regarded as a key reason for the loss of these fascinating creatures. Today, the remains of megafauna can still be found in different parts of Australia, offering a glimpse into a time when these extraordinary animals roamed the land. On Flores Island in Indonesia, scientists discovered the remains of a remarkable and puzzling species known as Homo floresiensis, often referred to as hobbits due to their small stature. These ancient humans were about the height of a 3-foot-tall child. What makes the hobbits especially intriguing is their blend of features reminiscent of both modern humans and earlier human ancestors, suggesting a complex evolutionary history. The mystery begins with their origins. Homo floresiensis lived roughly around 15,000 years ago, but their ancestry traces back much earlier. It's believed they evolved from a larger human species that reached the island, possibly after becoming isolated over time. This isolation may have led to unique adaptations, explaining their small size, which is thought to have been beneficial for survival in the limited environment of the island. Another layer to the mystery lies in their extinction. While other human species were thriving, these small humans vanished without a clear explanation, sparking debates among researchers. Their coexistence with modern humans raises questions about competition for resources, environmental changes, or even interaction with other species. Ultimately, Homo floresiensis is a fascinating example of how evolution can take unexpected paths. Their presence challenges our understanding of what it means to be human, inviting us to explore the rich tapestry of our ancestry and the diverse forms it took across different landscapes in our planet's past. Each discovery about the hobbits not only deepens the enigma surrounding them, but also highlights the wonder of human evolution. The idea of lost civilizations before recorded history stems from a mix of archaeological discoveries, ancient myths, and the mysteries surrounding the human past. Archaeologists have uncovered remnants of advanced societies in places that history books didn't document, like complex structures that hint at sophisticated knowledge in areas like architecture and agriculture. These findings suggest that human beings might have developed significant technological and cultural achievements long before we started keeping written records. Moreover, many ancient cultures had their own stories about previous worlds, often describing great floods, wars, or cataclysmic events that led to the downfall of earlier civilizations. These tales, found in cultures around the globe, can spark curiosity about what might have existed before the empires, towns, and societies we know from history. Another factor is the understanding that many civilizations can rise and fall quickly in human terms. Just as communities can thrive in one era and fade away in another, there may have been societies that lived and excelled but disappeared due to climate changes, resource depletion, or invasions, leaving little behind to connect them to modern humanity. This possibility encourages speculation that there are indeed lost civilizations, waiting to be discovered beneath the sands of time, buried in the ocean depths, or hidden in the jungles of our planet. The blend of evidence, unrecorded stories, and human curiosity creates a rich narrative that keeps the idea of lost civilizations alive, inviting researchers and dreamers alike to explore the vast unknowns of our past. In recent years, scientists have uncovered compelling evidence suggesting that humans inhabited North America much earlier than previously believed. Traditionally, the oldest widely accepted date for human arrival in this region was around 13,000 years ago, coinciding with the end of the last ice age. However, several significant discoveries have challenged this timeline. Archaeological sites, such as those in the western United States and in parts of Canada, have revealed artifacts that appear to be several thousand years older. For instance, researchers have found tools and other remnants at locations like a site in Texas known as the Galt site. Here, stone tools estimated to be around 16,000 to 20,000 years old were uncovered, suggesting that humans were present well before the Ice Age concluded. Another notable discovery comes from a site called the Bluefish Caves in Yukon, Canada. Scientists unearthed animal bones exhibiting marks consistent with human tool use, dating back approximately 15,000 years. This finding implies that ancient peoples were hunting and utilizing these animals, indicating a sustained presence. In addition to physical artifacts, advances in genetics have provided insights into the migration patterns of early humans. Genetic studies of modern Native American populations support the idea that their ancestors migrated into the Americas via a land bridge across the Bering Strait during periods of lower sea levels. This suggests an earlier colonization timeline that aligns with the archaeological findings. All of this evidence paints a complex picture of human arrival in North America, indicating that our understanding of ancient human history is still evolving. As new discoveries continue to emerge, they may push back the timeline even further, offering a richer context of how and when humans first populated this vast continent. Hallucigenia was a bizarre creature that lived more than 500 million years ago during a period known as the Cambrian. To imagine it, picture a small, worm-like body adorned with pairs of spiky appendages sticking out from its back. Its most striking feature, however, is its legs, which look quite alien. They were long and thin, reminiscent of the limbs of different creatures, yet they seemed to operate under a strangely unconventional design. Scientists initially struggled to place Hallucigenia within the evolutionary tree of life due to its unusual appearance. For a long time, it was unclear how this creature moved, or even which end was the front. Its body was covered in spines, perhaps for protection against predators, while its elongated structure and numerous feet helped it navigate the sea floor. What makes Hallucigenia look so otherworldly is its clashing anatomy that doesn't quite fit the patterns we expect from modern animals. The combination of a soft, elongated body with protruding spikes and multiple legs gives it an uncanny resemblance to creatures from science fiction. This unique design speaks to the diversity and experimentation in evolutionary development during the Cambrian explosion, a time when life forms rapidly evolved into complex organisms. So, while it may seem as if Hallucigenia could belong on another planet, it actually represents an early experiment in life on Earth, showcasing how diverse and strange our planet's ancient past truly was. The Dimetrodon is often recognized for its striking sail, which rises from its back like a natural canvas. This large structure wasn't just for show, it played a crucial role in the creature's survival. The sail is thought to have helped regulate its body temperature. Imagine being a cold-blooded animal, dependent on the warmth of the sun to thrive. By tilting its sail towards the sun, Dimetrodon could absorb heat, effectively warming up its body when it needed to be active, such as hunting or escaping predators. Moreover, this sail could have been significant for communication and mating displays. Picture how a colorful feather or striking feature might attract a potential mate today. In the same way, the sail of Dimetrodon could serve as a visual signal to others, both mates and rivals. The size and shape of the sail might indicate strength and vitality, essential factors in the competition for mates. Finally, the sail could have provided some level of protection as well. By casting a shadow, it might have helped keep areas beneath it cooler, creating a small micro-environment. This would be beneficial in a hot, sun-filled landscape, allowing Dimetrodon to rest in the shade during the hottest parts of the day, conserving energy for hunting or other activities later on. This combination of temperature regulation, social signaling, and potential protection made the sail a vital adaptation for survival in its environment. Tyrannosaurus was a unique dinosaur that roamed the Earth during the late Cretaceous period, about 70 to 90 million years ago. This dinosaur stood out not just for its size, but also for its extraordinary features, particularly its enormous claws. These claws could grow to be as long as a human arm, making Tyrannosaurus one of the most fascinating and peculiar dinosaurs in history. So, what were these massive claws used for? While the exact purpose is still debated among scientists, several theories provide intriguing possibilities. One prevalent idea is that they were used for foraging and feeding. Tyrannosaurus is thought to have been a herbivore, mainly eating plants. The long claws could have helped it strip leaves from trees or reach high vegetation that other dinosaurs could not access. Another possibility is that these claws could have been used for defense. Their sheer size and shape could deter predators, making it harder for them to attack. Additionally, they might have been employed in display or courtship behaviors, helping to attract mates or establish dominance within the species. Overall, the Tyrannosaurus stands as a remarkable example of the diversity of dinosaur life, showcasing how adaptations can serve multiple purposes in the very complex ecosystems of the past. The Carnotaurus, a fascinating dinosaur from the late Cretaceous period, is known for its distinctively small arms, which capture the interest of many dinosaur enthusiasts. While it might seem unusual compared to other large predators, those tiny arms served a purpose within its ecosystem. First, it's essential to understand that Carnotaurus was a bipedal dinosaur, meaning it moved primarily on two powerful legs. This body structure allowed it to run swiftly, which was vital for hunting. The evolution of its small arms likely symbolizes a shift in how these animals interacted with their environment. Instead of relying on their forelimbs for hunting, Carnotaurus depended on their formidable jaws and teeth to catch prey. Additionally, having smaller arms can be seen as an adaptation to their specific lifestyle. Carnotaurus had a unique skull shape with an impressive set of sharp teeth suited for tearing flesh. Its arms, while not used for grasping prey, may have been less critical than other adaptations, such as speed and agility. This suggests that Carnotaurus maximized efficiency by focusing on features that benefited its survival, traits that helped it roam its territory effectively and become a successful predator. The tiny arms of the Carnotaurus remind us that evolution is all about finding the right balance for survival. Each dinosaur adapted to its environment in ways that might seem unusual today, but these adaptations were perfectly suited to their way of life millions of years ago. The most armored dinosaur known to scientists is commonly believed to be the Ankylosaurus. This formidable creature roamed the Earth during the late Cretaceous period. Imagine a large, powerful reptile, about the size of a modern car, covered from head to toe in a densely packed armor of bony plates. These plates, also known as osteoderms, were more than just decoration. They served as a shield against predators that lurked in its environment. The Ankylosaurus was equipped with a club at the end of its tail, a specialized weapon that could deliver a heavy blow to any attacker. This tail club added another layer of defense, combining both offense and defense in its survival strategy. Its body was low to the ground, making it harder for larger predators to flip it over. In addition to its robust structure, Ankylosaurus had small, sharp spikes along its back and sides, further enhancing its protection. It was likely a herbivore, feeding primarily on low-lying plants, and its heavy armor allowed it to thrive in a world full of dangers. In the grand tapestry of the dinosaur era, this armored giant stands out as a remarkable adaptation to a life of constant threat, showcasing nature's ingenuity in providing survival tools for its creatures. During the age of dinosaurs, there existed a variety of massive amphibians that could indeed rival the size of modern crocodiles. These ancient creatures, known as temnospondyls, were a diverse group of amphibians that roamed the Earth millions of years ago. Some species grew to lengths similar to that of today's large crocodiles, reaching several meters in size. These prehistoric amphibians inhabited a range of environments, from swamps to rivers. Their impressive size can be attributed to several factors, including the warm climate of the time and their efficient predatory skills. Unlike modern amphibians, which generally remain small, these ancient relatives thrived at larger sizes, allowing them to become dominant predators in their ecosystems. Some of the largest known temnospondyls, like the species called Prehistoric, could have surpassed even the largest crocodiles. This highlights how evolutionary pathways can lead to dramatic variations in size and form among different groups of animals. So, while amphibians today are often small, ancient species were certainly capable of growing to impressive lengths, rivaling some of the most formidable reptiles of their time. Opabinia is a fascinating and unusual creature from a time known as the Cambrian period, which occurred over 500 million years ago. This period was a remarkable moment in Earth's history, marked by a rapid expansion of life and the emergence of various strange organisms. Opabinia stands out due to its unique appearance, featuring a soft body, a long segmented shape, and notably, 5 eyes arranged along its head. Imagine a creature resembling a cross between a modern-day shrimp and a graceful insect. Opabinia had a peculiar appendage, often described as a long, flexible snout, which likely helped it gather food from the sea floor. Its body was soft and not protected by a hard shell, allowing it to move through the water with agility. Despite its captivating features, Opabinia had no close relatives that we know of today, making it a rare window into an ancient world. Scientists believe that Opabinia was a gentle predator, using its snout to reach for smaller organisms. The 5 eyes are particularly intriguing. They may have provided a wide field of vision, helping it spot both prey and potential threats in its environment. This creature is often celebrated as an example of the diversity and creativity of evolutionary processes during the Cambrian exploration of life forms. Opabinia reminds us that the history of life on Earth is filled with oddities, each contributing to the intricate tapestry of our planet's biological past. The Hadean Eon marks the very beginning of Earth's history, spanning from the formation of our planet about 4.5 billion years ago to around 4 billion years ago. Picture this period as the chaotic early chapters of Earth's story. The planet was young and still forming, with high levels of volcanic activity, frequent meteorite impacts, and extreme temperatures. During the Hadean Eon, Earth was like a furnace. Molten rock set the surface ablaze, creating vast lava flows and thick clouds of gas. The atmosphere was composed of toxic gases, making it unbreathable for any known forms of life. Instead of oceans, there were seething oceans of molten rock and clouds of steam. In addition to the intense heat, the planet also experienced relentless bombardment from leftover debris in the solar system. These impacts shaped the landscape, creating craters and altering the surface in dramatic ways. Each collision released immense energy, contributing to a hellish and inhospitable environment. Despite these harsh conditions, this eon set the stage for remarkable changes. As the planet cooled over time, water began to condense, eventually leading to the formation of oceans. Thus, the Hadean Eon, while marked by its brutality, was essential in paving the way for the more stable conditions later on, which would ultimately allow life to emerge on Earth. The snowball Earth periods were times in Earth's history when the planet was almost completely covered in ice, extending from the poles to the equator. You might wonder how life could endure such extreme conditions. The answer lies in both the resilience of life and some unique environmental factors. During these icy episodes, some microbes and simple organisms likely found refuge in pockets of unfrozen water, such as geothermal hot springs, deep-sea vents, or small areas that remained liquid in the midst of the ice. These pockets provided warmth and essential nutrients, creating a viable habitat for life to persist. Another critical factor was the greenhouse gases trapped in the atmosphere. Even though the planet was mostly frozen, volcanic activity continued to release carbon dioxide. Over time, the accumulation of this gas contributed to a warming effect. Eventually, as the ice began to melt, the surface became more hospitable, allowing life to re-emerge and thrive once again. Additionally, the resilience of certain types of microorganisms played a significant role. Some bacteria and archaea have the ability to survive in extreme environments, including those with low temperatures and reduced sunlight. These organisms could adapt to the conditions, entering a dormant state until suitable conditions returned. The survival of life during the snowball Earth periods illustrates the extraordinary adaptability of life and the complex interactions within Earth systems. This resilience set the stage for future evolution, paving the way for more diverse and complex forms of life to flourish as the planet warmed once more. The Cambrian explosion marks a profound event in the history of life on Earth, occurring around 540 million years ago. It refers to a relatively short period when a remarkable variety of complex life forms suddenly appeared in the fossil record. Before this time, most organisms were simple and microscopic. However, during the Cambrian period, many of the major groups of animals we see today began to evolve. This explosion of life is significant for several reasons. It was during this time that many of the foundational body plans of modern animals were established. Think of it as a burst of creativity in nature, where different organisms developed distinct features like shells, legs, and eyes. These adaptations allowed them to interact with their environment in new ways, leading to diverse ecosystems. The Cambrian explosion also laid the groundwork for the evolution we observe currently. This period demonstrated how beneficial adaptations could arise, setting the stage for complex life forms and the eventual dominance of animals on land and in the sea. Interestingly, the explosion also showcases the importance of environmental factors, such as increased oxygen levels and changes in ocean chemistry, which may have sparked this rapid evolution. The Cambrian explosion represents a pivotal moment in Earth's history, illustrating the dynamic processes of evolution and showcasing life's incredible potential for diversity and complexity. The journey of fish evolution begins with ancient sea creatures that first appeared in the oceans billions of years ago. These early life forms were simple, single-celled organisms. Over vast spans of time, these simple creatures began to develop more complexity. This process is known as evolution, where organisms gradually change and adapt to their environments. As time progressed, multicellular life emerged. These multicellular organisms had greater interactions with their surroundings, leading to the development of specialized structures. Some of these evolved in ways that allowed them to move more effectively through water, escape predators, and capture food. Over millions of years, certain traits became advantageous, such as a streamlined body shape and the development of fins and gills. Fins enabled these creatures to swim more efficiently, while gills allowed them to extract oxygen from water, making breathing underwater possible. An essential step in this evolutionary path was the appearance of the first true fish. These early fish were jawless, relying on suction to feed. As they continued to adapt, jaws evolved, allowing fish to tackle a wider range of prey and further diversify. This diversification led to the rise of many different fish species, each adapting to various ecological niches. Some developed hard skeletons made of bone, while others evolved cartilaginous structures, like those found in sharks and rays. Over time, fish adapted to various environments, including freshwater rivers, lakes, and the vast seas. Throughout this long journey of evolution, fish became one of the most successful groups of animals in the world, showcasing an incredible variety of forms and behaviors while playing crucial roles in aquatic ecosystems. The transformation from simple sea creatures to the diverse fish we see today demonstrates the power of evolution in shaping life on Earth. The Carboniferous period, which took place millions of years ago, is often referred to as the golden age of insects for several fascinating reasons. During this time, the Earth was filled with lush forests and warm, humid environments. The rich vegetation created abundant habitats and food sources, allowing insects to thrive and diversify in unimaginable ways. Insects during the Carboniferous period grew to impressive sizes. Imagine dragonflies with wingspans that could stretch over 2 feet. These were real creatures from that time. This growth can be attributed to the high levels of oxygen present in the atmosphere, which are believed to be significantly greater than today. The increased oxygen allowed insects to breathe more efficiently, leading to larger body sizes and various adaptations. The Carboniferous period also saw the emergence of many of the major insect groups we recognize today. Beetles, butterflies, and other species began to develop at this time, evolving unique features that helped them adapt to their environments. This period was a crucial time for the evolution of flight, as more insects took to the air, giving rise to a dynamic form of life that played important roles in their ecosystems. As a result of these conditions, ample food, diverse habitats, and the ability to grow larger, this era became a pinnacle for insect diversity and activity. The Golden Age of insects underscores a remarkable chapter in Earth's history, highlighting how life can adapt and flourish under specific environmental conditions. The emergence of the first forests marked a significant turning point in Earth's climate and environment. Imagine a landscape dominated by bare rock and simple plants like mosses and ferns, with little ability to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. As these early forests began to grow, they introduced a new level of complexity to the ecosystem. Trees, with their towering heights and broad leaves, not only provided shade, but also transformed how carbon dioxide was cycled in the environment. Trees absorb carbon dioxide during photosynthesis, using this greenhouse gas to produce oxygen and organic materials. As forests expanded, they took in vast amounts of carbon dioxide, effectively reducing its concentration in the atmosphere. This process played a crucial role in cooling the climate. In a way, the first forests acted like a giant sponge, soaking up carbon and helping to stabilize global temperatures. Additionally, the presence of forests influenced rainfall patterns. Trees release water vapor into the atmosphere through a process called transpiration. This moisture can contribute to the formation of clouds and increase precipitation in the surrounding areas. In turn, this led to more fertile soils and supported even more plant life, creating a positive feedback loop that further encouraged forest growth. As these forests flourished, they not only shaped the climate but also paved the way for diverse ecosystems. They provided habitats for countless species, which thrived in the new conditions. This rich biodiversity in turn further impacted the climate through various biological processes, enhancing the cooling effect initiated by the forests. The first forests were vital architects of our planet's climate system. By absorbing carbon dioxide and influencing weather patterns, they set in motion changes that led to a much softer, more hospitable Earth, and shaped the conditions for life as we know it today. The Devonian extinction was one of the significant periods of mass extinction in Earth's history, occurring roughly 400 million years ago. This event primarily affected marine life, particularly species living in the oceans. During this time, the planet experienced drastic changes in climate and ocean conditions. To understand the Devonian extinction, we must first recognize that during this period, the Earth was covered with extensive shallow seas teeming with diverse life forms. There were many types of fish, corals, and early forms of aquatic plants. However, several factors contributed to the nearly catastrophic decline of marine species during this era. One of the leading causes was the shift in climate. The planet experienced dramatic changes, including cooling temperatures and fluctuations in sea levels. These climatic shifts affected the habitats of many marine species, disrupting their ecosystems. Additionally, the rise of land plants during this period altered the composition of the atmosphere, impacting the chemistry of the oceans. Another critical factor was the increase in the amount of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere, likely resulting from volcanic activity. This caused ocean anoxia, a condition where water loses its oxygen content. Marine creatures that relied on oxygen to survive struggled in these harsh conditions. Furthermore, this lack of oxygen made it difficult for many species to thrive, leading to widespread die-offs. By the end of the Devonian period, about 3/4 of marine species vanished from the fossil record. This extinction event serves as a poignant reminder of how interconnected life on Earth is, and how environmental changes can ripple through ecosystems, threatening the very fabric of life in the oceans. The Devonian extinction ultimately paved the way for the evolution of new species and the recovery of marine ecosystems in the time that followed. The megatherium, known as the giant ground sloth, roamed South America thousands of years ago and was a remarkable creature. Its large size and unique adaptations made it well suited for its environment, as it could reach high vegetation that many other herbivores could not. However, despite its impressive features, Megatherium eventually went extinct, and a few key factors contributed to its decline. One major reason is believed to be climate change. As the last ice age came to a close, significant changes in temperature and vegetation occurred. These shifts transformed the habitats that Megatherium relied on to survive. With changing environments, food sources became scarce, making it difficult for these massive creatures to find enough nutrition to sustain themselves. Another critical factor was the arrival of humans. As humans migrated into South America, they brought new hunting practices that likely posed a threat to large animals like Megatherium. With their ability to hunt effectively and adapt to various environments, humans may have overhunted these majestic sloths, leading to a decline in their population. Our ancestors were known to hunt big game, and the size of Megatherium made it an attractive target. In addition to hunting, humans may have competed for the same food sources. As vegetation changed due to climate shifts, both Megatherium and early humans needed the same plants to eat, which could have exacerbated the struggle for survival. Combining these environmental changes with human influence created a challenging situation for the giant ground sloth. Over time, these pressures contributed to its eventual extinction, showcasing how delicate the balance of an ecosystem can be. Megatherium, despite being a powerful herbivore, could not adapt quickly enough to the rapid changes happening around it, ultimately leading to its disappearance from the Earth. The moa, a large, flightless bird that once roamed New Zealand, raised intriguing questions about its survival in remote areas. While these birds became extinct several hundred years ago, they inhabited diverse environments ranging from dense forests to open grasslands across the islands. Though remote, isolated regions could have offered some potential for their survival, the challenges they faced were significant. Firstly, the arrival of humans had a profound impact. The Polynesians, who settled in New Zealand, hunted the moa for food, significantly decreasing their population. With the growth of human settlements, the habitat for the moa rapidly shrank as forests were cleared for agriculture and other uses. In remote regions, the availability of food and nesting sites could have been limited, impacting their chances of survival. Moreover, the ecosystem itself played a role. The moae were herbivores, relying on a wide range of plants for sustenance. In areas where their preferred vegetation was scarce or altered, their survival would have become increasingly difficult. Furthermore, the introduction of new predators, like dogs and rats brought by humans, could have further endangered the moa. These introduced species likely competed for food and preyed on their eggs, putting additional pressure on already vulnerable populations. While some remote areas might have provided refuge, it is important to remember that the factors leading to the extinction of the moa were intertwined and complex. The combination of human activity, habitat loss, and predation created a challenging environment that likely made survival impossible, even in the more secluded parts of New Zealand. Thus, while it is an interesting idea that they could have lived on undetected in remote areas, the realities of their existence tell a different story. Steller's sea cow was a large marine mammal that lived in the cold waters of the North Pacific, particularly around the Bering Sea. This creature, reaching lengths of up to 30 meters, resembled a giant manatee but was much bulkier. Its body was covered with thick skin and blubber, which helped it survive in icy environments. Steller's sea cow primarily fed on kelp and other types of sea vegetation, playing an important role in its ecosystem. The story of its extinction is a cautionary tale of human impact on nature. When Steller's sea cow was first discovered in the 18th century, it was immediately targeted for its meat, fat, and hide. The animal was slow-moving and not particularly shy, making it easy prey for hunters. As people sought to exploit this resource, hunting intensified rapidly. Within just a few decades, this incredible creature was driven to extinction due to relentless hunting and the destruction of its kelp habitat. By the late 1800s, Steller's sea cow was no longer seen in the wild. Their extinction serves as a reminder of how quickly a species can vanish when humans interfere with their environment and exploit them without regard for sustainability. The loss of such a unique animal highlights the importance of conservation efforts to protect remaining species and their habitats. The dodo was a flightless bird that lived on the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. Its extinction story is a stark reminder of the impact that humans can have on a species. When European sailors arrived on the island in the late 1500s, they found a bird that had evolved without natural predators. This gave the dodo a unique way of life, as it had no reason to fear humans or the animals they brought along. However, this lack of fear also made the dodo vulnerable. Not only did sailors hunt the birds for food, but they also introduced animals such as rats, pigs, and monkeys. These species competed for food and destroyed dodo nests, eating the eggs. The dodo laid its eggs on the ground, making them easy targets for these newcomers. Within less than 100 years, the combination of hunting and habitat destruction rapidly reduced the dodo population. This rapid decline illustrates how delicate ecosystems can be. When critical aspects of their environment change suddenly, it can have devastating effects. By the late 1700s, the dodo was gone, leaving behind only stories and curiosities about this unique bird. The extinction of the dodo serves as an important lesson in conservation, reminding us of the necessity to protect fragile ecosystems and the species that inhabit them. Cloning does offer a fascinating possibility for bringing back species that have disappeared from our planet, such as the woolly mammoth. The idea centers around using the DNA of the extinct animal, which can sometimes be found in well-preserved remains, like frozen carcasses. Scientists have mapped the woolly mammoth's genome, revealing the unique genetic blueprint that contributed to its traits and characteristics. To bring a species like the mammoth back to life, researchers could use a technique known as somatic cell nuclear transfer. This involves taking the nucleus, which contains the animal's DNA, from a mammoth cell and transferring it into an egg cell from a closely related living species, such as the Asian elephant. The egg cell then would be stimulated to develop into an embryo, which could potentially be implanted into a surrogate mother. If everything goes well, this could lead to the birth of an animal possessing some of the woolly mammoth's traits. However, the journey is not straightforward. There are significant challenges. First, the DNA from extinct animals is often damaged and incomplete, making it difficult to recreate a full genome. Additionally, scientists must consider the behavioral and ecological aspects of these animals. Even if a mammoth were to be born, questions arise about its survival in today's environment, which has changed dramatically since the mammoth walked the earth. There are no longer vast steppes filled with their food, such as grasses and shrubs, to sustain them. So while cloning could offer a glimmer of hope for reviving the woolly mammoth, it's a complex process filled with ethical, ecological, and technical hurdles. The experiment to bring back a creature that lived thousands of years ago invites us to think about our role in conservation and the responsibilities we hold in protecting the biodiversity of our living planet. Lazarus species are fascinating organisms that were thought to be extinct but then reappeared after long periods, seemingly rising from the dead. This name comes from the biblical story of Lazarus, who was brought back to life. These species can offer valuable insights into survival and adaptation over geological time. One of the most notable examples is the coelacanth, a prehistoric fish that scientists believed had vanished around 65 million years ago during the mass extinction that wiped out the dinosaurs. This remarkable creature was rediscovered off the coast of South Africa in the mid-20th century, astonishing the scientific community. The coelacanth has unchanged features that give us a glimpse into ancient marine environments. Another example is the Wollemi pine, found in a remote part of Australia and believed to have been extinct for millions of years until a small population was discovered in 1994. This tree's find has not only changed our understanding of biodiversity, but also raised questions about how such species can survive unnoticed. Lazarus species challenge our assumptions about extinction and resilience in nature, illustrating that life can persist in surprising ways. They inspire ongoing exploration, reminding us that the Earth may still hold secrets from its distant past, waiting to be discovered. Throughout the history of life on Earth, many creatures have taken unusual evolutionary paths that ultimately did not lead to long-term success. One notable example is the dodo bird. This flightless bird, native to Mauritius, was perfectly adapted to its environment. However, it evolved in isolation without natural predators. When humans arrived, they brought invasive species, sparking significant changes that the dodo could not adapt to quickly enough. As a result, it went extinct within a short period after being discovered. Another interesting case is the glyptodon, a large armored mammal that roamed South America during the Ice Age. Resembling an oversized armadillo, the glyptodon evolved to thrive in its environment with tough armor for protection against predators. However, as climates shifted and human populations expanded, their habitat changed drastically. The glyptodon, unable to adapt to the new conditions and pressure from hunters, eventually disappeared. The Steller's sea cow represents yet another strange journey of evolution without success. This enormous marine mammal lived in the frigid waters of the Bering Sea. It grew to an impressive size, which helped it survive in its icy habitat. However, it was slow-moving and lacked the agility required to evade human hunters, who quickly wiped it out in just a few decades after it was discovered in the 18th century. Even more, the passenger pigeon provides a cautionary tale. Once numbering in the billions in North America, this bird had incredible flocking behavior which was thought to be a strength. Yet, its reliance on massive numbers for survival made it vulnerable to overhunting and habitat destruction. In a matter of a few decades, it went from one of the most abundant birds to extinction. These examples highlight how evolutionary paths can lead to traits that may seem advantageous, but can also culminate in vulnerability when environments change or when faced with new threats. The history of life is full of fascinating creatures that emerged with unique adaptations, but even the most specialized forms can face unforeseen challenges that can ultimately lead to their downfall. Denisovans are a fascinating group of ancient humans who lived alongside our ancestors. Imagine a time when different types of hominins roamed the earth, each with their own unique traits and behaviors. Denisovans inhabited parts of Asia, primarily during the last ice age, and they coexisted with both Neanderthals and early modern humans. The evidence suggests that the range of Denisovans was extensive, from Siberia down to Southeast Asia. It's entirely possible that modern humans and Denisovans encountered each other in these regions. When our ancestors migrated out of Africa, they would have moved into territories occupied by Denisovans. They might have shared the land, utilized similar resources, and perhaps even competed for food and habitat. Research indicates that there was some interaction between the two groups, as DNA studies show that modern humans of non-African descent carry a small percentage of genes inherited from Denisovans. This suggests that there were moments of contact, possibly leading to interbreeding. These interactions would have taken place during the late Stone Age, contributing to the genetic diversity we observe today in certain populations. So, while we may not have a complete picture, the clues point to a time when Denisovans and modern humans could have coexisted, sharing the world in ways that are just beginning to be understood. Imagine the cultural exchanges, adaptations, and the complex web of survival strategies that unfolded during this dynamic period in human history. Homo erectus thrived for nearly 2 million years, a remarkable span that suggests they possessed a unique set of advantages. One key factor was their ability to adapt to a variety of environments. Homo erectus had a diverse diet that included both plants and animals, allowing them to inhabit different regions from Africa to Asia and beyond. This versatility in food sources gave them a significant advantage, especially as climate and environmental conditions changed over time. Additionally, their physical traits played a vital role in their survival. Homo erectus walked upright, which not only freed their hands for tool use, but also helped them travel longer distances in search of food. Their body structure was more efficient for endurance running compared to earlier human ancestors, aiding them in hunting and foraging. Tool-making also set Homo erectus apart. They were among the first to use and create more advanced stone tools, which greatly improved their ability to hunt and process food. This technological innovation meant they could take on larger prey and protect themselves from predators. Social behaviors contributed significantly to their longevity as well. Evidence suggests that Homo erectus may have lived in groups, which allowed them to share resources, protect one another, and collaborate in tasks such as hunting. This social structure would have been crucial in facing environmental challenges and threats from other species. Ultimately, the combination of adaptability, physical advantages, advanced tool use, and social cooperation equipped Homo erectus to endure through a changing world for an extraordinary length of time, leaving a lasting impact on the evolutionary narrative of human beings. The discovery of Homo naledi has significantly shifted our understanding of early human ancestors. Found in South Africa, this species presents a complex picture of human evolution. At first glance, its features seem primitive, resembling some of the earliest known hominins. However, there are also strikingly modern traits, particularly in its hands and feet, which suggest it was capable of making and using tools. One of the most surprising aspects of Homo naledi is its age. Initially, researchers believed this species existed around 1 million years ago, but later dating suggested it could have lived between 2 and 3 million years ago. This time frame overlaps with other important hominins, suggesting that multiple species of early humans may have coexisted. This challenges the traditional view that the evolution of hominins was a linear process, with one species simply evolving into the next. Instead, it opens up the possibility of a more complex evolutionary tree where different species lived alongside each other, potentially interacting in ways we do not yet fully understand. Another intriguing factor is the evidence of ritualistic behavior. Homo naledi was found in a chamber deep within a cave system, leading researchers to speculate that this species may have deliberately placed their dead there, indicating some form of social or cultural practice. This notion suggests that the capacity for complex thought and behavior may have emerged much earlier in human evolution than previously thought. Overall, Homo naledi forces us to reconsider the very nature of what it means to be human. It blends traits from different points along the human lineage and suggests that our ancestors were not just linear progressions, but a diverse group of beings with varying capabilities and behaviors. This discovery might change how we interpret the human story, highlighting the intricate web of evolution that has led to modern Homo sapiens. Neanderthals, often seen as primitive ancestors, were surprisingly skilled in many ways. Recent discoveries suggest they had the capability to construct structures, although their creations might not resemble the grand buildings we see today. Evidence indicates that Neanderthals built simple shelters, likely using natural materials found in their environment, such as stones, wood, and animal hides. Imagine them using branches to create a framework, similar to how tent poles support a canvas. They likely constructed these huts to provide warmth and protection from the elements. Archaeological findings in places where they lived show that they arranged stones and other materials, which hints at a purposeful approach to building. Additionally, Neanderthals displayed impressive cognitive abilities. They crafted tools and were skilled hunters, suggesting they could plan and execute construction tasks. Their social structure may have facilitated teamwork, allowing them to construct more complex shelters over time. While Neanderthal structures may not have been as advanced as those built by modern humans, the evidence points to their ability to adapt to their surroundings and create functional living spaces. It reflects their understanding of materials and their environment, proving that they were far more advanced than previously thought. Yes, early humans did interbreed with multiple species. The story of human evolution is complex and involves several different hominins. Our own species, known as Homo sapiens, first appeared in Africa. As they spread to other regions, they encountered various relatives, including Neanderthals and Denisovans. Neanderthals lived in Europe and parts of Asia and are known to have coexisted with early modern humans for thousands of years. When Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa, they came into contact with Neanderthals and through this interaction exchanged genetic material. This means that modern humans of non-African descent today carry a small percentage of Neanderthal DNA in their genomes. Similarly, the Denisovans, another group of ancient humans, roamed parts of Asia. Evidence indicates that some early humans also interbred with Denisovans. This contribution is particularly notable in certain populations from Melanesia and Australia, who have higher percentages of Denisovan ancestry. These interactions reveal that the history of human evolution is not just a linear development, but rather a mosaic of encounters and shared genetic heritage with other hominin species. This makes the story of our species far richer and demonstrates the complexity of our evolutionary path. Early humans displayed remarkable adaptability to some of the harshest environments on our planet. As they migrated from Africa into various landscapes, they faced challenges such as extreme cold, arid deserts, and rugged mountains. To survive, they relied on a combination of physical evolution, innovative tools, and social cooperation. In colder climates, early humans developed thicker skin and greater body fat to retain heat. They learned to make clothing from animal hides, insulating themselves against the chilly temperatures. Fire became a crucial element for warmth and cooking, allowing them to transform raw foods into more digestible meals. The ability to create shelters such as caves or simple structures made from wood and stones further enhanced their survival. Moving into deserts, these early people had to contend with extreme heat during the day and frigid temperatures at night. They adapted by becoming more nomadic, following migrating herds or water sources. Early humans learned to plan their movements for cooler times of the day and stored water when available. Their diet shifted to include plants that could thrive in dry conditions, and they developed hunting techniques that made use of the environment. In mountainous regions, the challenges included difficult terrain and the need for different food sources. Humans adapted by developing stronger leg muscles for climbing and learned to hunt a wider variety of animals. They also harnessed the resources around them, using stones for tools and creating storage methods for food gathered during warmer months, ensuring they had supplies for leaner times. Throughout these adaptations, early humans worked together in social groups. Cooperation allowed them to share knowledge and skills, increasing their chances of survival, whether it was through hunting, gathering, or building shelters. This social structure not only supported individual survival, but fostered a sense of community, which was vital in the face of adversity. Overall, early humans exemplified resilience and ingenuity, traits that would pave the way for their eventual success across diverse habitats. The last species of human to go extinct is believed to be the Neanderthals. These early humans used to inhabit parts of Europe and Western Asia, living alongside our own species, Homo sapiens. Neanderthals had physical features distinct from modern humans, such as a stockier build and a larger brow ridge. Evidence suggests that Neanderthals thrived for thousands of years, adapting to their environment using tools, hunting techniques, and even creating art. However, around 40,000 years ago, they began to decline. The most likely reasons for their extinction include competition with Homo sapiens, climatic changes that altered their habitats, and possibly a lack of genetic diversity that made it harder for them to adapt to these changes. The interactions between Neanderthals and our own species were complex. In fact, some genetic studies show that modern humans and Neanderthals shared DNA, indicating that they interbred at certain points. This shared history speaks to a time when multiple human species coexisted, but ultimately illustrates the fragile nature of survival in a constantly changing world. The exact timing and circumstances of their extinction still spark discussions among researchers, revealing how fascinating and complex our evolutionary past truly is.